Sickos Club.
Sickos Club.
Hey, come here. You like pro wrestling? We got a little something for you. Two fans, 3,000 miles away. We each been watching for more than 30 years. Celebrating the art form, the action, the homoeroticism. We ain't rating matches. We ain't analyzing stories. We ain't experts. We just sit down, shut up, and mark out! Hello, everybody. It's goddamn motherfucking Blade Daily coming at you with another brand new episode of Sit Down, Shut Up, Mark Out, a pro wrestling podcast about pro wrestling and returning. Joining me once again, my bestie, my restie, the best there is, the best there was, the best there ever will be, the greatest Canadian pro wrestling podcaster in the history of Canadian pro wrestling podcasts, but Joshi.
I got something to say. I listened to your predictions last week for Forbidden Door.
Yeah?
Do you have any idea how much trouble I'm in right now, my friend?
What?
What?
With who?
What? With who? With Uncle Don, damn it.
Oh.
With Uncle Don, you hardly mentioned him on the show.
What?
You didn't sing any of his praises.
Is he
what
listening
kind of
to
a freaking prediction episode was that? No Don Callis. And then you had Antoine replacing me, and he didn't sing any freaking Don praises either. I am furious. I'm probably going to be out of Don's will. Okay, off his freaking will because of you. And on top of that, you had the nerve to freaking tape a review episode of Forbidden Door.
Yeah.
And you failed to mention Don again. I don't understand what. Cállate, cabrón. I don't understand what you were thinking. Okay? Don doesn't want to talk to me anymore because of you. You've completely ruined my relationship with Don. He was my freaking favorite uncle. I was his favorite niece. And now he refers to me as the freaking annoying Quebecois. And I'm not even French.
Wow.
Yeah. And you know what? We're going to make up for what you did last week. I want to talk about Don the entire freaking episode. We're not talking about anything else. All we're going to do is love Don Callis, appreciate Don Callis, praise Don Callis. I don't want to do anything else today. Do you understand me?
Well, I love Don Callis too.
No, you don't love him enough, clearly.
Was I in his will?
I don't know. We don't talk about you.
Oh.
We only talk about immediate family members like me and Hechicero. We don't talk about people like you who don't even talk about Don Callis, who don't freaking acknowledge how great he is.
Okay, so what if we just talked about Don a lot instead of not mentioning him like apparently I did the last time and that we've been doing this whole time, not giving him enough praise? What if we talked about him like a lot, but we still talked about other stuff too?
You know, I'm not the biggest fan of this, but I guess I have to compromise. Although, I was thinking about changing the name of our podcast to Sit Down, Shut Up, and Mark Out for Don Callis. I really was. And I think that moving forward, when you have guests on the show, and that's for our podcast and The Hard Way, you better tell them to praise Don Callis. That should be a requirement on both podcasts moving forward. I don't want to listen to another freaking episode of either one where you don't mention Don.
So they have to take a loyalty pledge to Don Callis before they can be on the show?
Yes.
Okay, well,
I think I'm being very fair.
What? Look, really worked up right now. Okay, well, we'll get around to it. We'll talk about it. Okay. I did notice after the last time you were on, and it's really progressed. Okay.
What, my personality?
I mean, that too, yeah. But something, that thing on your eye or above your eye that I was talking about the last time you were on? It's the Don Callis scar. It's literally Don's exact scar. Have you noticed this?
Well, don't I look freaking great? Of course I noticed. I'm his niece. We're supposed to look alike.
Okay.
We have the same genes.
All right. Looks
You like it?
You know, we didn't get your thoughts on Forbidden Door, and I was just thinking maybe, you could just give us like a summary, like a brief summary of how you felt, highlights, lowlights, whatever you want to talk about.
Well, the highlights for me were Don Callis being on commentary for the Kyle Fletcher Takahashi match. I thought that was an amazing moment. I mean, brought me a lot of joy. And on Zero Hour, not only did he introduce Hechicero, he was also on commentary for Hechicero's match. Yo soy Hechicero. So obviously, those two things were amazing. And again, I thank you, Don, for always enlightening us with your amazing announcing skills, and you're always great on commentary. The others are not good, and they know it. But besides Don,
very biased,
and I thought Don was obviously the standout from the whole show. His wrestling just keeps improving every week. He works really hard, I mean, Kyle Fletcher wrestles as well as he does because Don trains him. Anyways, so my overall thoughts. Sorry, I understand I have to talk about other things.
Wrestling.
Yes. Okay. Just give me a second. Okay. No more Dawn for a few minutes. Just have to meditate.
Put her back in the will is the point.
Please, Uncle Don, please. You are my favorite uncle in the entire world. Do not leave me.
You know what? I'm going to make like 10 woke Don Callis memes, and we're going to just send them out there. Does Uncle Don like the woke Don Callis memes?
He really does, because he is the most woke person that I've ever met in my entire life. So he really appreciates it. Okay, so let's talk about, the other parts of the show, because I don't want to be, people are already calling me biased, which I think is really unfortunate. Obviously, they don't know what they're talking about.
Totally.
I'm going to show here that I'm a very fair person. So let's talk about the matches here. What did I love about Forbidden Door? Okay, so one of the things that I liked the most was when, so Christian and Copeland, they were wrestling Luchasaurus Killswitch and Kip Sabian. And at one point, the audience starts chanting, "Hey, Christian, I want to know if you'll be my dad." Loved it. So ridiculous. I'm a huge Christian Cage fan, always have been.
Yep.
So I just love that the AEW fans like him so much.
Yes.
He deserves this.
Yep.
Throughout his career, I always found him so underrated, so underappreciated. And now in AEW, so many people love this guy, and you hear these Christian chants. I'm just really happy for him. So that was definitely a standout moment for me. I thought Kyle Fletcher versus Hiromu Takahashi was a really great match.
It was super good.
Super good. I can't say enough about Kyle Fletcher. He is so young and already on another level. He acts like a veteran. He wrestles like a veteran. I think I've told you this before, iBlade. He reminds me a lot of MJF. Like those two, considering how young they are so knowledgeable and understand how wrestling works and how character work, essentially, how to deliver on that. And the other young guys just don't touch these two right now.
Not even close.
My goodness. So much love for Kyle. He's awesome.
And you know what I'm seeing in AEW right now is like they just got Hangman and Ospreay and Swerve is like your next generation of main eventers, right? But just behind them, you have Bandido and Takeshita.
Mm-hmm.
And just behind them, you have Fletcher. And you have, it's unbelievable what you see happening right now with AEW is like they're set up for the next 20 years.
Oh, yeah. They have nothing to worry about, honestly. They understand which wrestlers stand out the most, which ones the fans react to the most. So, yeah, props to them, man. I think Kyle on his own has just been absolutely wonderful and has surprised a lot of us. So good job, Kyle. So the 4-way for the AEW TBS title match, I thought it was a good match. For me, though, Bozilla's the one that stood out. I have to mention her. Oh my gosh, she is so strong. She is so unique. I know some people refer to her as green. I mean, hey, she's like 21 years old, you know? She's still she still has work to do, but come on, considering her age, she's already a powerhouse. She has the character locked in. I mean, when you look at her, you can't help but feel intimidated.
I think she'll get over massively if she's in AEW more regularly.
Oh, yeah.
Like with the TV audience. Yeah.
There were Bozilla chants. That's how impressive she was.
And it seemed like the point was everybody was working to get her over.
I love that. I'd love to see her in AEW again. And it was really funny to see how scared Mercedes was of her. And
I know.
For good reason. She's a scary freaking lady. And to think that she is bigger than Megan Bayne, it's pretty freaking scary.
Well, and you know what's crazy is I did see a match that she had with Megan Bayne in GCW. I think it was earlier this year. And it was before she had gone to Stardom. And the level of improvement from then to now is insane.
Oh, yeah.
Also, she's so much bigger than Megan. Megan's wrestling from underneath with Bozilla. That's crazy.
Man, AEW, bring her back in. And if she's a free agent down the line, you have to sign her. Absolutely.
I agree.
So, I mean, it was good, but really this was a showing for Bozilla, which I appreciated. Mm-hmm. Zack Sabre Jr. versus Nigel McGuinness was another highlight. Definitely a very good match. I didn't think we'd ever see this match, to be honest. Mm-hmm. So just very grateful that we did. I love Zack Sabre Jr., definitely the best technical wrestler in the world. And I mean, Nigel can still go, you know? So whenever he does get the opportunity to wrestle, he looks really good.
I thought it was Nigel's best match since he came back.
Yeah, absolutely. So the 3-way match for the AEW World Tag Team title, it was a good match. What I loved about it was that Bandido won, because I'll be honest, I thought FTR was winning this one.
Yeah.
So I really appreciated how unpredictable this match was, because holy crap, when they won, I was like, what? I did not see that coming. So some points for unpredictability for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Sometimes you just got to run with the hot hand, you know?
Yeah.
Both those guys are getting over organically. Just run with it, you know?
They're so awesome. I love them both so much. So
yeah,
really great moment for Bandido and Brody King. And also, I do like that they decided to go back to the Hurt Syndicate Ricochet story, because I didn't see that coming either. So
nobody did.
Really cool moment. Yeah. So yeah, that was great too. Again, it's just not like all this unpredictable stuff was really neat. Then Okada versus Strickland. At first, I was a bit underwhelmed from this, because I don't know. Like, I guess I expected a 5-star match. So maybe my expectations were too high. Mind you, I didn't know that Swerve was dealing with an injury. So I've really softened up on this match, and it was really good. It's just that, I don't know, I expected, like Osprey Swerve level type of match, because they're both so amazing. But again, it's nobody's fault. Swerve has been dealing with an injury, so it's okay. It was still really good for what it was, and I love to see a rematch down the line.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the aftermath of this match was freaking awesome. First off, I had read that Wardlow had been backstage recently, but I never thought he would join the Don Callis family.
To me, this felt like the beginning of building up the DCF as the next big bad. Like, they're, you know, the Death Riders they seem like they're waning. Even though they're trying to keep some heat on them right now, it's temporary. You know, it feels like Mox and Darby is where that really starts to fall apart. But I think this was like signaling Swerve's going to have a real feud with Okada when he comes back. You got somebody else who's in the Don Callis family who I have my doubts he's going to be there much longer. Mm-hmm. Who's going to turn babyface and have a fucking monster run. He better. And, you got this incredible stable, and then you add another heater like Wardlow to it. Unbelievable.
Right.
Unbelievable.
I did not see that coming.
I was saying this to Professor Degree. I love that Okada is not just the like funny bitch guy anymore.
No.
He's like evil.
He's a mean man.
He wants to hurt people. And one thing that was great at the end of this match is he didn't waste any fucking time. He didn't celebrate. He just ran and fucked Swerve up immediately.
I love that. And I forgot to mention that Don Callis was also on commentary for this match.
It really shined up the match, didn't it?
Yes, I can't believe I forgot about that. So
we didn't have to deal with all the fucking biased bullshit,
Yeah. We got Don 3 times.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Thank you, AEW.
Thank you, Don.
Thank you, Don.
Thank you, Don. Thank you, Don.
Thank you, Don.
Thank you. We're still really bad at the ball.
I know, but whatever. He
fine.
understands that we're praising him. He's going to be really happy with this episode, and I'll be back on the wheel in no time. I believe.
Put her back in the wheel. That's the point.
Thank you. Next up was Toni Storm versus Athena for the AEW Women's World Title.
Match of the night.
So I don't know what it was about this match. It wasn't a bad match. Of course not. It was good. But I felt like there was something missing. And it seemed to me like the crowd felt the same way because they just weren't as loud for this one. I don't know what it was. It just seemed like it was stuck in a gear and never moved to the next one. And I expected more. Maybe down the line we'll get another match. I don't know if maybe it was too rushed, too short. I have no idea. It was just strange to me. And then, of course, we had that ending, which I hated. Athena tapped out way too quickly. I didn't make any sense considering that she controlled most of the match and she's been ROH Women's Champion for like 1,000 days. So she's been undefeated. She's clearly strong. She's really good with the technical submission holds and all that in the ring. So to see her tap so quickly was really weird and disappointing. So again, it's not that I hated this match. It was good for what it was, I guess. But yeah, I really expected something better. I'm not going to lie. And if you were to ask me what was missing, what was the problem? I don't know. It was just one of those matches you're watching and you're like, okay, when's something big going to happen? And it just didn't seem like that big moment ever happened in the match. I don't know. It's weird for me.
I think that they built this up on television to feel really special.
Mm-hmm.
And with Athena winning the gauntlet, it felt like this is her crowning moment. And then I think this was a storytelling match where the story is Athena's too arrogant. She's very capable of beating Toni Storm, but she's too arrogant. And she's killing Toni. She's like fucking ramming her head into the fucking post. Got to give it to Toni. That woman is willing to do some crazy shit to get people to look good, right? But Toni then winning so abruptly, I think, really took the wind out of my sails. It took the wind out of a lot of people's sails. I've talked to a lot of people about this match since it happened, and I just don't think it was a good ending. I'm not even as concerned about the tap so quick because I think since UFC, they've shown that tapping can be strategic sometimes.
Sure.
And since she has a match coming up with Mina, I wish on Dynamite they had made the point of like, hey, she had this match coming up with Mina. She didn't want to be injured going into that match, so she tapped, right? That would have kind of added a little depth to the finish, and they didn't do that. That was a little disappointing. I think the Swerve Okada match was kind of the same thing, where they're telling a story. They have to write Swerve off. Yes. So they have to show that his knee's fucked up. They had I think, strategically announced a couple days before that he's been injured since 2019.
Poor guy. Oh.
Talk about believing in yourself and believing in a dream, man. So I think both those matches, match quality-wise, may not have quite reached the heights we wanted them to because they were telling stories, and they're also clearly leaning into Toni's neck being fucked up because when she didn't stay in the ring and do a big celebration. She got out of the ring and she looked miserable going to the back. So that's going to be the story going forward.
I think so too. And since we're on the topic of the woman, I just want to mention that it was really nice to see Jamie Hayter come back.
Hell yeah.
I'll be really honest with you, I was getting really worried. We hadn't heard any kind of updates regarding her condition for a while. She wasn't announced for Forbidden Door. So I started to feel like, oh, man, like, don't tell me it's a serious injury again. So
I felt the same way.
Yeah. So just to hear her music, it was like, oof, what a huge relief, because I do not want to see Jamie out of action for that long again. It was really tough. I felt terrible for her. And she is really special to that women's division. She's one of the best wrestlers on the roster, period. Mm-hmm. She's a lot of fun. Man, and iBlade, I still really want to see her and Alex Windsor as a tag team. Like, that's my dream, the tag team right there.
It's a great tag team. I think I could see so many things happening with Jamie. I could see a heel turn.
Yeah.
Where she and Tony feud after Tony loses the title. I could see her costing Tony the title. I could see her winning the title from Tony. I could see a lot of different things. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of different possibilities, but what I would say is I was just happy because you're getting a potential ace back who's on that level with Tony, Mercedes, Athena, at that very same level of just like balls out fucking brutal fucking wrestler who can do it all. And she really impressed me with her character work since she came back the first time. So I'm really looking forward to whatever they decide to do with Jamie, and really looking forward to her being on TV more and seeing how excited she was to be back. You could hear that. You could see that. I mean, she was just like jumping up and down, slapping people's hands. Looking forward to her and Aminata uniting against the Triangle of Madness. Very excited for that.
I'm really, really excited to see her versus Tekla in a singles match. I think it's going to freaking rock.
It's going to roll. Oh my God.
These are two wrestlers that were in Stardom. They understand hard hitting and all that. So that's going to freaking roll. I can't wait until we get that match.
Talk about another potential ace, Tekla.
Oh, she freaking rules, dude. Like, and I see a lot of praise for her online. I truly do.
She's winning people over so fast.
Yeah, she's blowing everyone away. And you know what it is about Tekla? It's not just that she's an amazing wrestler. Like, she's very innovative in the ring and she does things that are very creative. It's her damn character work. Mm-hmm. She gets it. She is so cool without even trying to be cool. You see her and you're like, dude, like, I'm in love with this woman. Like, if I was a lesbian, she would be my girl crush. She already is my girl crush, man. I mean, I have, I'm not going to lie.
I'm completely in love with her. Absolutely, completely in love with Tekla.
It's hard not to be. She has this aura that others don't have. She's so, like punk rock metal. And again, without trying, I don't know how she does it. I think that might just be who she actually is,
I got a hot take.
Sure.
I already like Triangle of Madness more than I like the House of Black.
High five, dude. High five. I love this faction so much. Like, honestly, the Don Callis family, obviously they're the best faction right now.
Of course.
To deny that.
Of course.
But Triangle of Madness, they're a close second, dude.
I hated the name when I first heard it.
Yeah.
And they've made such a cool vibe and such a great entrance for them. And editorial style, Danny had made, you can always tell when it's her. She made that amazing video. She's the one who did all the work with Julia and Sky before. Putting her on this was absolutely the right call. I don't care about the name anymore. They made the name cool.
I'll get into this a little bit later on, iBlade, but this is what I want to see more of. Like, I want to see those three, this freaking faction, in more vignettes, backstage promos, just doing all this. I want to see them do all this cool freaking stuff because they are freaking awesome. People want to see them. I'll talk about it more later, but
yes,
it's like you have really interesting women on your roster, man. So anyways, MJF versus Hangman Adam Page. I thought that was one of the best matches of the night, to be honest.
Agreed.
Oh my God. And I really like that every time MJF tried to get himself disqualified, the referee would notice and stop him. It was just so funny because, MJF usually gets away with this stuff. But at Forbidden Door, not happening. He kept getting blocked.
Well, and I think that they're telling that story. I was talking with Professor Degree about this on the review, is like all the shit MJF used to do that he would win with or that he'd get away with, like the ring, knocking the guy's foot off the ropes. He got away with that a few weeks ago. Getting into people's heads and like baiting them into giving him what he wants. Like Hangman wouldn't be baited. And, obviously he threatened to light Mark Briscoe on fire, which, your mileage may vary on how much you like that, but it was dumb, but it's pro wrestling, So MJF comes with fuck finishes and big overbookings, and I don't mind that because AEW doesn't do a lot of that. He can fucking go, and these guys had a great fucking match. And I love that Hangman showed he has a bit of an edge with the finish where, if he gets disqualified, he loses the title, and he still figured out a way to fucking nail him with that fucking clipboard. That was awesome.
He didn't get caught. That's our champion.
Even though papers were flying everywhere.
I know. That's our champion, the really smart baby face. I love it. And also, Eyeblade, I know we're going to talk about, he is so intelligent and awesome and beautiful and all of that. You know how much I love Hanger. So I know we're going to talk about Dynamite after, but I just want to say that MJF's promo on Dynamite, excellent.
His best work in a while.
Oh my God. Like, have him continue to cut these kind of freaking promos. Angry MJF is like my favorite version of MJF. And we used to get glimpses of that here and there. Let him stick to that. I love it because he's so intense and passionate, and it just gives you chills. MJF is a freaking, he's a master at freaking promos, So don't let him always do the same thing. He has so much more to him. That's why when, they tend to revert to him, just like with the petty insults or whatever, I'm just like, come on, guys. MJF is capable of so much more. And we saw that on Dynamite. I love that promo.
I love that they're making it seem like it's a Hanger MJF thing, but it's really about building a blood feud with Mark Briscoe.
Yeah.
Because now it's starting to, and I don't have this in the notes later, but Briscoe's promo was also very good.
Yes.
I also loved
the baby.
He introduces his newborn child, and then he gives the child back, and he goes, "Now take him." And like it's an emergency. You need to run away with this child because I'm about
take him away.
I'm about to say and take him away. Like, I'm about to say some terrible stuff. But I love that, like, they're going to have this feud where Briscoe will cost you the title. They hate each other so much. You have crossed a line so far that they're going to end up in some kind of crazy blood feud. And you know what? If MJF eventually is the guy to take this off Hangman down the road, fine. By the way,
I don't mind.
I'm giving us a little credit. Okay, I don't try to do this too much, but they got rid of the fucking cash-in thing.
Thank you. I hate
How
that.
long have we been saying, please,
oh my God,
do not make this a Money in the Bank bullshit thing?
Yeah.
I am totally fine with a week's notice. If you have to give a week's notice, great. It's more like the Lucha Underground rules than the Money in the Bank rules. And I can totally roll with that.
Same.
That just
makes
feel the
same.
I'm not ever going to mention it again because I don't have to.
Whoever's listening to our podcast, thank you.
Yeah. And I'm not saying it was us directly, but like there was enough in the ether where Tony had to mention it during the scrum and say, listen, we listen to the fans. We've heard you. We know that you don't like this. We don't want to be like other companies, so we're going to get rid of this. So it has to be a 7-day cash-in. I love it. That was a big focus of MJF's promo, too.
It was, yeah. It was. Oh, man, I love that promo so much.
It was really good.
It was really good. Okay, so finally, we have the main event. So the lights out steel cage match. Darby, Golden Lovers, Tanahashi, and Ospreay defeat Death Riders, Gabe Kidd, and the Bucks. This was definitely my match of the night. So chaotic, a lot of really great moments. I'll mention some of the moments that stood out to me the most. I really liked Will Ospreay's video package where Alex Windsor is narrating and
Oh my God.
she's saying how inspirational he is and how much she loves him. Really sweet. What a
Fuck
freaking...
you, AEW, for almost making me fucking bawl my fucking eyes out before the match. And then Will's like so emotional when he comes out.
Yeah. It was
I watched it
cute.
again. I almost cried again.
Me too. It was so cute. Aw. Bless that couple.
God damn, you guys are cute.
I know.
God damn it.
The Young Bucks coming out to Hanson.
I almost spit out my water when you brought that up.
It was just so stupid.
It's so fucking great. Also, Kenny like singing the song word for word. Kenny likes Mbop. He's listened to that shit. Like,
oh yeah, he loves this kind of music. It's hilarious. So that was hilarious.
Yes.
And then of course the gummy bear spot. I died.
Mm-hmm.
What was that? But I mean it in the best possible way. It was hilarious. It was so funny.
It was a PWG moment that they fit into show, and I love that Kenny like stuffed them in Matt's mouth. Matt was like, no, and then he like stuffs them in his mouth, and then he punches him and he spits them out. You know, like they were thumbtacks. Like,
I would be so happy if Kenny did that to me. I'd be like, yeah, feed me the gummy bears. No, but really, gummy bears rule.
Will Ospreay proved that he and I are very much the same. Those gummy bears had been lying in that ring for some time, and he does a spot like in the ring clears out and he picks one off the mat. They've been sitting there for 5 minutes. They've probably been stepped on numerous times, and he just eats one and he has the most whimsical look on his face. I would have done that same thing. I'm gross like that. Thank you, Will. Thank you.
Go, Will. That was a great
representing
moment. I agree.
The gross boys amongst us.
Well, don't make the gummy bears go to waste. Come on.
That's, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Yeah, people bled on that mat. Yeah, people stepped on it. They might have had dog shit on their shoe. I mean, whatever. That's how you build a strong immune system.
Yeah. And
Uncle Don would appreciate that.
Of course he would. He would do it too. And I really... Okay, so one spot that really grossed me out was the Darby Allin ear spot.
Oh, I knew that's what you were going to say. Yeah.
Oh my God, that was so freaking disgusting.
Okay, so I watched this match the second time. There was so much going on the first time that I didn't realize how it all happened. He started bleeding from the ear way before.
Did he? Yeah, you mentioned it last week. It's true.
Yeah, so I thought he like pre-pierced his ear or got some blood. I think it was a hard way shot, actually, that caused him to bleed from the ear. But when you look at what Moxley's actually doing to him, he's just making more blood come out. That's a porous area of your body. But Moxley's just making it look like he's doing something terrible. He's not really.
Of course, Darby would hurt himself, you know.
God damn, it was disgusting. Because I think Darby's back of his head hits a ladder or something.
Yeah.
And I think that's where it starts. So, that was one of the grossest things AEW's ever done.
Oh, I agree. I wanted to throw up.
And they've done some gross shit. The grossest thing is still Mox with Spike in his back. That's the worst thing.
Don't remind me of that. That was so... Why did you mention that?
Because it's delicious.
It took me forever.
Yum, 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 yum.
I tried to forget about it. Thanks a lot, iBlade.
No problem.
Another moment that I really liked was when Tanahashi wanted to climb the ladder. And his teammates are like, no, what are you doing? Tanahashi's adorable. I mean, my God.
By the way, when did Will develop so much personality? Because like the way he does it is so loving. He's like, no, please come down. Please come down. But like Kenny, like, you know, Kenny's like had all this fake heat with Tanahashi forever. And when New Japan was really mad at Kenny, Tanahashi was the one guy who'd still say his name. You know, like they clearly love each other. You know what I mean? And it was so fun to be able to see all these guys show the love they have for Tana.
It was so cute.
He's one of the greatest ever, period.
Yes. And I love that he got the win for the team. I thought that was such an amazing moment.
They almost made me cry again.
You know, iBlade, you gotta do something about this constantly crying. What's wrong with you?
How did they make this match feel like a fucking Hallmark card? That's the weirdest shit I've Like, how do you like have a match where somebody's fishing in somebody's ear and making it bleed all over the place, and by the end I'm like crying because I'm happy and emotional, and then I'm sad again by the very end.
No, me too. Listen, we cry. We like to cry, okay? It's fun. Well, no, it's not fun, but we still like it.
Tana doing the high fly flow for the last time in the UK was beautiful. And getting the win, and everybody clearing the ring so that he could do it, and knowing he struggles with the turnbuckles in America. You know, this man's almost 50 years old. Yeah. He's not used to the layout of American rings, and we saw him struggle with it with Swerve years ago on a collision. And for everybody to make sure he got the big moment at the end, beautiful shit, man. Beautiful shit.
It was. Tanahashi makes us cry. And also, of course, Will Ospreay, you know, they had to write him off television, and we know he's going to be gone for a while, and it's really sad because we love Will Ospreay, but I'm sure his surgery will be successful, and although he will be gone for a while, I mean, it is a neck injury. He will, you know, when he is back, it's going to be huge, and yeah, I'm just happy he's taking care of his neck. You know, that's not something you put on hold and mess with. So, and it, you know, a lot of things make sense now as to why he didn't win the AEW World Title.
Yep.
So I just wish Ospreay a speedy recovery, man. We'll miss you.
Oh, so much. And I love that he went out like Danielson went out, you know, with heat.
Me too.
In front of his home crowd. I was there when it happened to Danielson, and holy shit, that arena was molten, and so was the UK. One more shout out to the UK. You guys were so great. What you were so much fun.
Oh my God. Last thing I want to say, iBlade. So it was a very good show. I enjoyed it. I thought it was definitely a show where there weren't really any bad matches. Every match was good.
Yeah.
And also, I want to say that now that Hangman has won the AEW World Title, the Death Riders lost to Kenny Omega, Kota Ibushi, Tanahashi, Ospreay, and Darby Allin. I don't want to see the Death Riders as the big bad anymore. I think it's time for the Don Callis family to take over. They are a lot more intimidating. And honestly, I find the members of the Don Callis family more interesting right now. And they have Don, obviously, who is an excellent mouthpiece and all that. I just think these are the guys that need to be the big bad now. It's really time for a shift. So I'm hoping, like you said, iBlade. Well, we are going to get Moxley versus Darby at All Out. Yep. I'm sure. That's the end of it. It's time for a new heel faction to just destroy the baby faces.
Well, and I think that's where it's going, and based on what happened on Dynamite, I see nothing to argue with that perception. So yeah, we're about to get into that, but Joshi and hey, Uncle Don, put her back in the well. We're gonna hit the music, and when we come back, we're talking about the fallout from Forbidden Door, and then after we're done talking about that, we got one big sticking point that we got to talk about, and then after that, we're gonna talk about the highlights of fucking Death Before Dishonor, which was a fucking top to bottom amazing show. So, DJ, oh, that's me. I'm going to do it.
So, iBlade.
Yeah.
We had Dynamite this week.
Yeah, we sure did.
And it took place at the 2300 Arena. So the famous ECW Arena, the Epic Arena. And yes. I love the feel of that show.
I did too. I you know, people were saying they only sold 950 tickets. It's like they're fitting a giant fucking television set in there. Who cares how many people are there? What did it feel like when you watch the show? Like, people get obsessed with dumb shit.
Why does it matter?
It doesn't.
What I like about what AEW is doing right now is that they're choosing these venues that, even though they're smaller, they're really unique.
Yeah.
And they stand out, right? So when you're watching as a viewer, you can't help but notice little things that, let's say, a really big venue wouldn't have. It makes the shows feel more original, more intimate. And I really like that, actually. I don't feel like a TV, their TV shows need to be at a freaking stadium or like the largest venue. They're just like weekly shows. Who cares? Like wrestling is supposed to feel gritty and underground. That's what I love about wrestling. When it starts to feel too much like Disney World, I lose interest.
There you go. You just hit the nail on the head. And you know what I would say is there's been a lot of companies that have run 2300 Arena / ECW Arena. I'm just going to call it ECW Arena because that's how I know it. But there's been a ton of companies that have run that place, and it's never felt like ECW at all to me. It's just felt like, hey, we're in this historic building, and it's not ECW. This felt the closest to ECW that you're going to get without actually being ECW. And Darby and Claudio, we'll get into that later. They had a match that felt very ECW in many ways.
Oh, yeah.
It was super fun. This place has been gentrified. It's very different than the original place. But as somebody who has reviewed some ECW pay-per-views on The Hard Way, guys, listen to The Hard Way with Brett Michelle. It's a great show. I am a co-host of that show as well. Sister show to what we do here. I am very connected to the feeling of ECW. We just watched Heatwave 98, which is absolutely the best ECW pay-per-view ever. And it's not identical. I don't think you'd want it to be identical. Like, for instance, now there's actually women in the crowd.
Yeah, but exactly.
And,
it's true.
We made the joke on The Hard Way. Well, you knew what the Toxic Males of Philadelphia were doing back in 98. But if you want to know what they're doing now, you saw January 6th, right?
Oh, my gosh.
But anyway, this really, the crowd really brought it. And I guess the point I would want to make to the people who were saying it looked small or small time or whatever, it's like, guys, shut the fuck up. Listen, this is not how AEW makes money. They don't make it based on ticket sales.
No.
They don't make it based on merch sales. That's all extra bonus shit, okay? They get paid through WBD. That's how they make their money. So, conceivably, they could do a show in front of this many people, zero people, and it would be profitable, okay? It doesn't matter how many people are there. What matters is if it feels good to watch the show. You guys need to stop distracting yourselves with stupid shit like attendance figures. I know there's people who follow like AEW ticks or pro wrestling ticks or whatever. I don't understand that. Who cares?
Who cares?
If I watch the show and it feels dead, like some of those Dynamites before they switched to the smaller arenas, they felt weird because they clearly had sold like 3,000 tickets in a 14,000 seat arena. That's not good. Okay.
How is that better?
Yeah, it's not better. And you know what, Joshi? You hit the nail on the head. I like the intimate feeling of wrestling. When you go to an indie show and you're close to the action, that's what I like. I could give two shits about going to an NBA arena. It's cool for a pay-per-view. It's cool for a big event to show the true breadth of the fan base. But hey, if you think you can sell 3,000 tickets, go to a venue with 2,500 seats because you'll sell out. There will be people fighting for those tickets instead of struggling to sell 7,000 seats in a 20,000 seat arena. You know what I mean?
I agree with you 100%.
So I've effectively ended the ticket sale discourse. It'll never happen again. Nobody's ever going to talk about it again.
They better not.
I mean,
or else we're coming after you.
And I'm not saying on this show. I'm saying I've changed the internet with this brilliant dissertation.
Of course you have. Yeah, I do agree.
Thanks, friendo. Anyway, there's a lot better things to talk about on this show. It was a very good show. Go ahead.
It was a really good show. So we then got a FTR Cope and Christian segment, which I really liked.
I loved it.
So FTR come out.
Mm-hmm.
They want Paul Turner to reverse his decision at Forbidden Door where Bandido won.
Yes.
And what I found hilarious was that it was Stokely that was completely in his face and bullying him. How anyone could even be scared of this guy, I don't know.
I'm going to say it to your face.
I'm going to say it to your It's just...
And he called him a nincompoop.
Yeah.
Harsh.
Can you believe that? Ouch.
Like, watch your mouth, dude. Watch your mouth, bro.
Send him back to school.
I also like that Dax was like, how does it feel? Your wife, she's in attendance tonight.
Yes.
That's correct. And how does it feel to go home and admit that you're a failure to your family, that you failed at your job? Because that's what I had to go do. That we failed to become. That was really good. That was like.
It was really good.
It showed his motivation, you know.
It's like the ref was just doing his freaking job. What's there to be embarrassed about? Like,
I know. And you counted the fall on the illegal man. You know, Dax openly admitted he got pinned, you know, like he didn't even cover that up. I thought it was so good. And Paul Turner, for his part, played his role very well.
He did.
FTR has been great since the heel turn. They've been fantastic. Them with Stokely was a weird, Antoine and I were talking about, at first it felt so unnatural and strange.
Yeah.
But now it's like, dude, I don't want him any other way. This is great.
It really works. Yeah, I agree with you. So we then have Copeland's music hit. And it looks like he's waiting for Christian. Even the commentators are wondering, where the heck is Christian? What's going on? And you just see Christian hit Stoke with the kill switch, which I love.
Yeah, he sneaks in behind everybody. Yeah.
Yeah.
Smart.
Very sneaky, very sneaky. Christian Cage is a brilliant man. Yes, it's true.
Yes.
And so FTR and Stokely, they get out of the ring. Christian is about to go on about Cash's dad being dead. And of course, Copeland stops him, but the fans want to hear it. We're sick, right?
We start booing Copeland.
They start booing Copeland, and Copeland's like, hey, you're sickos. And so Christian does say that Cash's father is dead. And calls him a bitch as well.
Yeah, he says, that bitch is dead.
Bitch is dead. So classic Christian Cage. I love that they haven't changed anything about his personality because we like asshole Christian. We just do. We don't want nice guy Christian, you know? And they end up announcing that it will be Cope and Christian versus FTR at All Out in Toronto.
Yeah. That's both Christian and Copeland's hometown for better, you know, pretty much. And they're both from Ontario. And so I think that's really cool. We all kind of knew this match. This is why I thought FTR was going to win against the Hurt Syndicate and Bandido, because I thought this would be for the tag titles. I'm kind of glad it's not, to be honest. Something I want to say for Cope and Christian is these guys have been very unselfish. They have not tried to like come in and be the world champion or any of that stuff. They've flirted with the idea and then they put somebody else over. And I think that's great. And I could absolutely see them losing to FTR in this match and generating molten fucking heat. I could see that happening. So, you know, I cannot believe how seamlessly Christian is turning babyface while not really changing his character. I thought it would be a slower burn than this. And, you know, we had talked about, you know, some people saying this felt rushed. Somehow they've managed to do this quickly without it feeling rushed. And that's really an accomplishment in and of itself. The only thing I'm just a little interested in, and I'm not saying it's good or bad, is when Christian said, we solved my problem. Now it's time to solve Adam's problem. I hope they're not done with Nick Wayne. I hope they're not done with that. I hope that's just like Christian thinking they're done and there's more to come, because I think Nick needs to be involved in this being done. So, that's my hope. So, you know, I'm not assuming anything. TK has shown he doesn't really give up on these things very easily. And I have tried to give TK the benefit of the doubt since All In. Like, look, he did a company-wide angle over a year's period of time. It paid off the way it should have. I'm going to give him some grace, more than I did this last year. So I have faith that they'll pay it off. But I would be very sad if Nick didn't get more of a rub out of this. And I also think Jack Perry is going to be somehow involved in this.
I can see that happening for sure. Yeah. They could put him back with Luchasaurus / Killswitch. I also want to add that obviously Christian and Copeland, they're older now and all that, but somehow these two together, it just works. It still works after all these years. And that's not something that you see often in wrestling, I find. For example, when Shawn Michaels and Triple H were reunited and acting like DX at 50 years old, it was really cringe. It's like, what are you guys doing?
It was pathetic.
Yeah, and of course, so when you see two wrestlers reunite and act like they were, like they're 20 years old again, it's kind of like, even no offense to Matt and Jeff, I've always been a huge Hardys fan.
I love the Hardys.
It's like, I love the Hardys, but it's like, you guys are older now. Like,
doing the same gimmick.
Doing the same gimmick. You shouldn't still be acting this way. You're closer to 50. So, of course, with Copeland and Christian, it was like, oh, shit. Like, are they going to, act young again and do things that we don't really want to see anymore? And honestly, that has not been the case at all. They're older. They act like they're older, but they're both like just so great and cool, like these cool dads that they make it work. And I'm just so relieved that's the case, because I feel like in a lot of cases, it's gone the opposite direction where I would be like, oh, okay, I don't like this. You know what I mean?
Yes, I think I totally agree with you. I think what's been smart about this reunion is they are who they are today, not trying to be who they were. I can definitely see at some point them doing some kind of super awkward 5-second pose where Christian doesn't want to do it or whatever, something like that. Or some reference being made to it where they're like accidentally caught in a 5-second pose or something. But I don't think that they're ever going to try to be the exact same guys they were 25 years ago. The other difference between these guys and like the Hardys is that they're more well known as singles wrestlers than they are as a tag team now.
Yeah.
And so them doing this is they have a lot of room to grow and change, whereas I think the Dudleys or the Hardys, they are primarily known as a tag team. And so I think that's the difference. Shawn was primarily known as a singles wrestler. Nobody's like, oh, you and Jannetty should get back together. You know what I mean?
No.
Yeah. So I think, and they're not in WWE with a fucking lame-ass PG rating that they got to fit into, trying to do DX PG. Fucking lame! Glow sticks. Get the fuck out of here.
I mean, come on.
Fucking grow up. Anyway, you're right. This is awesome to see them as wily old men going out into the sunset together. When their time is up, man, it's going to feel so great. This is going to be an amazing send-off. And these guys have completely convinced me. I didn't particularly care if they got back together because I was enjoying Christian and Cope, honestly, so much singles-wise.
Yeah.
And they've changed my mind pretty much instantly. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. Anyway, we've got the next segment. Okay. Danny Garcia wrestles Jon Moxley. They have a good match, a very solid TV match, okay? Heatless match, though. Doesn't really feel like there's anything going on, okay? Moxley beats Daniel Garcia with an inside cradle. We all knew Moxley was going to win because that's how far Danny's fallen, unfortunately. Mm-hmm. And I don't, I've said this before, I don't blame Daniel for that. He's just going nowhere as a babyface, and something needs to happen with Daniel Garcia. Now, Joshi, did you happen to see the promo that he cut after Dynamite online? Did you see that?
I saw just like a quick glimpse of it, but not all of it. So fill me in.
It's a fucking great promo. Okay. Super passionate. He's angry. Where are all the heroes that I was trying to save us from the Death Riders with? Where are they? They're all gone. All these guys. It's hinting at a heel turn. We've all suspected that Danny's going to turn heel for about 3 months now. Okay. We're going to be talking about stories that have been running in place for a while, a little later in a totally different context. And I don't want to lump this in with that because that deserves its own setting. But this is a story that has felt like it's running in slow motion for a really long time. I need something to happen for Danny Garcia. He's too important to this company to be running in place like this. So my hope is that Danny turns heel or Danny turns harder edge babyface or something. Okay. So after the match, Danny's kind of like having some kind of argument with Daddy Magic, it looks like, for a minute. He even pushes him a little bit, like he's frustrated. And then Mox comes over, and Yuta is in the ring telling Darby that Mox will not accept his challenge. There had been a vignette aired for Darby that was really good about how Darby wants to take everything from him. I like that he continues to make that point because that makes me hopeful that this Death Riders thing is grinding to a close. And I really feel it needs to, for the Death Riders to be remembered as a success, it needs to end. And Darby's the perfect guy to do it. So he had made the challenge for Mox at All Out. That's obviously where it's going. And these two need to face each other one-on-one in some kind of crazy match. Okay? Now, Yuta's in the ring saying, Mox isn't even going to dignify your challenge with a response. He says no. Mox is in the background talking to Garcia. Are they trying to build the Death Riders with more members? I hope not.
No.
I don't know what they could possibly have planned for a continuation of the Death Riders. Hopefully the plan is for a post-Death Riders something, you know, with Stat and Garcia maybe. Who knows? I don't know. But something needs to evolve with Daniel Garcia, and it needs to happen soon because I am pretty bored of it. And honestly, he deserves better because he's just boring as a babyface at this point. What are your thoughts?
Well, the thing about Danny is that he's an excellent wrestler. I thought he looked amazing in his match with Moxley. He
did.
Man, my dad watches AEW sometimes, and he's always praising Danny Garcia's wrestling skills. The guy just has it. The issue is that when it comes to character work, I agree with you. He's not that interesting right now anyways. And so where do you go from here? Either you turn him heel, I completely agree. And you're right, they've been teasing it. I mean, even at Forbidden Door, when Nigel hugged him, he kind of looked like a little bit annoyed. He didn't look happy, right?
No.
Or you make him an edgy babyface. What he's doing now, it's just not doing anything for him. You know, and the thing is that this guy has so much potential. He is so good. Every time he wrestles, I always say, man, this kid's got it. Like in terms of in-ring talent, he's got it. He reminds me of a young Bryan Danielson. It's just a matter of figuring out what to do with his character. And they can't do it. They just need to try something else and stick to it. But whatever's going on now, this isn't the right fit for him. Completely agree with you.
Yeah, I think turning him from the dick heel dancing guy to this, like, Danny's just a good kid from Buffalo who...
Yeah.
That was too drastic of a turn. Here's the problem for Danny currently. Jack Perry has been gone since he dropped the TNT title to Danny. I think Danny would be more over if he also left at the same time and came back right now. He'd be more over than he is right now. So they definitely need to do something with his character. It just hasn't worked out. That TNT title reign ended up kind of being a curse. And this is how sometimes winning a belt is not all it's cracked up to be, because they didn't really have much of a plan for him at the time. And it's, I think, really until now, until it's been on Kyle Fletcher, it's really just felt like it's been in a holding pattern. And so from the time Cope lost it and Jack Perry won it in that tournament to now, you know, I think Jack didn't get the greatest TNT title reign either. So they just need, you know, it wasn't a focus, so Garcia didn't feel important for having it. Having a belt is not a guarantee. So yes, Heat Up Danny. I encourage everybody, go watch that promo he cut after Dynamite. It's very good. And it shows you the Daniel Garcia we're missing. So I'm hopeful, but come on, let's get the wheels in motion.
If you want to look sexy as fuck, go to sickosclub.com/merch and get you some.
Speaking of people with a slightly new feel, Joshi, have you heard the good word? Our boy Hook is back.
Hook! Yes! I was so happy to see him.
What do you think about his new music?
So at first I was confused,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because it's just so different from his old music and I wasn't sure about it. But the more I listen to it, the more I like it. Because Hook is just, this really chill guy,
Mm-hmm.
but also extremely badass like his father. And the vibe goes with his character. And I like that song. It's nice. It's actually a really cool song.
Fucking banger song. And we have a good friend who I'm not calling out in any way. He said it just doesn't feel like a pro wrestling entrance song, which it doesn't feel like a typical pro wrestling entrance song. But to me, it's got this kind of ironic heartthrob feel to it, which is, his name's the cold-hearted handsome devil, right? So like, to me, it kind of has this ironic pop idol feel to it, like he's a heartthrob, but Hook doesn't give a shit. He's just like detached and whatever. I think it actually goes with his character perfectly. Destination. Like, I love the song itself. It's got this, and the vignettes they made for him with the action figures of him, and all of it was super good. So I'm excited to see what they do with Hook from here. But Wheeler Yuta's in the ring, like, kind of doing this, I'm not leaving the ring until I get appreciation. I'm from Philadelphia, and you guys treat me like shit. I like that they see what Yuta's good for right now, and they're not trying to push him above kind of where he's actually at. I think Bryan Danielson wanted him to go further into the main event, and I don't think Yuta's ready for that yet.
He's not. No.
They could actually get him there still. But if Wheeler Yuta ends up becoming just a really useful upper mid-card babyface or heel, that's still a great spot for him. That's not a bad thing. They have booked him very strong at times. And then they booked him like a little bitch who gets his ass kicked. And he can work in either position. And he's actually proving to be a very useful utility player for AEW. Like, he goes where you need him. And so Hook just comes out and just chokes his ass out. That's it. Like, that was it. But Hook's back, everybody. So that's exciting. How'd you feel about it?
I liked it. I didn't expect to see him, and I missed him for sure. Hook is very special to me. So, yeah, I love the new music. I love seeing him kick Wheeler Yuta's ass. It all worked for me. Very excited to see what he'll do, for sure.
Absolutely.
We then got a women's tag match. So it was Harley Cameron and Chris Stylander versus Megan Bayne and Penelope Ford. I thought it was a really good match, actually.
Agreed.
Harley and Chris, this is the first time they've teamed up, and they had a lot of chemistry, worked really well together. And Bayne and Ford, it's like they work better and better as a tag team. I thought Ford looked really great in this match. She just did everything pretty flawlessly. So it was just, it was really nice to see them put on such a good match and for the crowd to be so into it. Stylander got Penelope to tap with a scissored armbar. Really cool to see her use submissions, because Stylander doesn't usually win by submission. But lately it seems like that's what she's doing, and I like it. I really do. I love when women use submission holds.
Kind of Mox-ish almost, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, it's true. It is kind of Mox-ish.
It's also a trend that I'm noticing. Like, Athena is using a lot more submission moves.
It's true.
Toni Storm added the chicken wing to her kind of repertoire. It's just been a kind of a minor trend that I'm noticing with the women's division, is a lot of women are adding submission moves.
Which is cool.
I think it's very cool. Moves. I think it's awesome. I think it adds variety. And I like it when people have more than one move they can win with.
Yeah, exactly. It makes it more unpredictable, right?
Yep.
The way they'll win, anyways. We then had Penelope and Megan attack Stat and Harley, and Willow runs down. Chris is surprised to see her. And Harley raises Statlander and Willow's arms. So, what's going on here? Listen, you got to make a decision about Statlander and Willow. This has been going on for a really long time now. I want to see these two do something big. Just either put them back together or let them go their separate ways. It's like, how long has this been going on now?
Fucking who knows? And it's
Man,
literally a feature of our show this week is we're going to be talking about the women's division and kind of some things we're noticing that need to be remedied. But this is case study number fucking 1 about just running in place with the story for way too long.
Yeah.
And so Willow comes out and she looks like a little, some people were saying she looked jealous. Some people were saying she looked uneasy. They're not turning Willow heel. Willow's not going heel at all. That's just not happening. Harley raises both of their arms because she's like the cool baby face that's trying to get both the baby faces to like each other again. Or, you know, she just likes them both herself. Look, all of that's great. All of it's great. Okay? Like, those are main players. I think that's awesome. Fucking Jesus Christ. Move this along. For Christ's sake. You know, our good friend Thorange Cassidy in our Discord pointed out, you know, I was mentioning this, and he's like, oh no, my favorite part was when they just had Statlander watching a monitor for months on end, you know, during Dynamite every single week. They got to move this along. Injuries? No, I don't care. I don't care.
Yeah.
Like, you guys got to pace some of these stories just a little better. We're going to get more into that a little later. Okay, we also had a celebration for Mercedes Moné. Now, we here at Sit Down, Shut Up, Mark Out for Don Callis love Mercedes Moné. Okay, we are Mercedes fans, stans, whatever you want to call it. We love her. She's great. She's Mercedes 9 belts right now. She comes out with her 9 belts arrayed in front of her. She's wearing the TBS title, looking so good, as she always does. And comes out, talks to Renee in the ring. She's currently got those 9 titles spread out on a table. And her promo, very interestingly to me, centers around Alex Windsor. And she says she's going to, you know, she retained her title. She's going to retain it again. And if Alex Windsor wants to challenge her again, she'll put her in the hospital with her husband. I didn't know they were married. I'm not sure if they actually are. I don't know what the deal is.
They're not.
They're engaged, whatever it is.
Yes.
But she does call Will her husband, and that she will put her in a hospital bed right next to him. That certainly seems like the direction they might be going with maybe All Out is Mercedes and Windsor. Then the segment just ended. And to me, I'm not blaming Mercedes for this. It just felt anticlimactic. Like something more could have happened here, or it could have just been like a quick backstage promo. The women don't get a lot of in-ring promos, so I'm not bitching about her getting an in-ring promo. I don't want to. It just felt a little like, that's it? Please make this feel like more than a match. Please. And we will get into this again a little later. It did feel good to have a decent length women's match followed by a decent length women's promo on Dynamite that's not at the 9:30 hour, 6:30 hour, depending on where you are. But I wish there was more going on here.
Oh, I agree with you. It was anticlimactic. Obviously, you know, like, I love Mercedes, but one issue I'm having, like you said, is that lately it's just been her being in a match just for the sake of being in a match. And there hasn't really been any long-term feuds. And I want to see more of that. I really do. And that applies to the others too, like Toni Storm, Athena. It's just, I don't know. Ever since Mariah, Toni, I don't know what the heck is going on, but we hardly get to see any rematches. And to be honest, rematches are needed to continue a story at times. And it just doesn't happen. And it's like, I get it, like Mercedes wrestled at Forbidden Door against 3 other opponents, and one of those opponents happened to be Alex Windsor. Fine. It does look like we're going to get Alex Windsor versus Mercedes at All Out. Awesome. But make this feel important, I mean, really. I understand that obviously Alex couldn't be there this week. She's supporting Will Ospreay. But I really hope it's not just one of those things where she'll only show up a week before All Out or something, and then they'll be like, okay, well, that's the match. Because I want to see something special, like convince me that someone could beat Mercedes. We know the reason why she's still champion. Tony, for whatever reason, wants her title reign to be longer than Jade Cargill's. Fine, whatever. I mean, I don't really care about that. But, Jade also wrestled a lot of jobbers. Let's be honest. I don't even remember her reign that much.
Jade's entire reign is padded by squashes. Like,
exactly.
So I think for me, there's booking strong champions and then there's running title reigns into the ground. I think they're in danger of that with all 3 of the major women's singles.
Oh, I do too.
That's the focus of where we're going later in the show. But yes, I'm for now just going to say that I share your feelings. And you said it great. Convince me, convince me this person has a realistic shot of beating Mercedes or Athena, or convince me this person has a realistic shot of beating Tony.
Exactly.
Because if you're going to keep the belt on these ladies, you need it to at least feel convincing.
Next up, we've got Hechicero, Josh Alexander, Takeshita, and Okada versus Jet Speed and Bandido. So Don Callis, he announced 3 out of the 4 opponents. The only one he didn't announce for was Okada. So it was just such a blessing to be able to watch Don announce Hechicero, Josh Alexander, Takeshita. I mean, my gosh, they're finally using Don the way he deserves to be used.
He could have been on the show more, let's be real.
Exactly. He's the best announcer. He's the best commentator. I was just so impressed by Don. He's just good at everything. I mean, let's just call it the way it is. He's handsome. He's charismatic. The best. He is the best dressed wrestler in wrestling right now. Always wears really nice shoes.
He's very kind.
He's very kind. Such a good-hearted man. So, unselfish. And honestly, unselfish. I thought the match was actually better with someone, someone who knew what the heck they were talking about, and He called the action down the middle. He wasn't being biased like Excalibur, Taz, and Riccaboni. I mean, those guys really need to take some lessons from Don, man. I mean, you guys don't know how to do your jobs. I'm sorry, but it's true.
Maybe Don could teach a seminar on
I think he should.
How to call a match,
I agree. And
what does Excalibur know, really?
Doesn't know much. He doesn't even know Spanish.
And Taz, what is he? Some rookie?
Yeah, he wrestled in ECW. Big deal. I don't care.
Deal. Yeah. So did Don.
So did Don. Yeah, nobody talks about that. And I did find it very funny that Don Callis said he didn't like Mike Bailey. And when Riccaboni asked him why, he was like, he's your fellow countryman. Don Callis responds, he's not my fellow countryman. He's from Quebec.
As somebody from Quebec yourself.
Exactly.
And obviously you're his niece, and knowing that, he's taking shots
he was so
at your
angry.
home province. Do you think he was angry because of what we did by not mentioning him enough? And so that was a jab at you too?
That's what I was going to say. I think that's exactly what happened. So please don't do that again.
Shit. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry. I mean, we're going to have to probably make a Don Callis tribute episode like soon, right?
I think we will have to, yes.
So, guys, get ready for that because it's bing, 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 bing. It's going to be good. You should start talking about me with Don a little more. Like if he starts talking to you again.
Okay, sure. I mean, I hope he starts talking to me again. You know, hopefully after this episode, he feels better about me. Now I'm on the blacklist.
We got to get better at chanting "Thank you, Don" together, but that's for another time.
He did say that he doesn't like the way we chant his name, but
we're not good at it. I mean, we're terrible at it.
We'll make it up to him. Don't worry, Don.
We will.
Yeah. Did you notice tension between Takeshi and Okada, Eyeblade?
I think you'd have to be fucking run over by a car not to. I love that they're teasing this. I love where that's going. Takeshita has an IWGP World title shot in October at King of Pro Wrestling against Zack Sabre Jr. There's a rumor that I heard that they might be trying to finagle Takeshita versus Okada at Wrestle Kingdom.
Yes,
for the title.
Please.
My God. My God. Can you imagine how great that would be?
That would be epic. That's a dream match.
Do we even dare to dream of such a great thing happening?
I know. Thank you, Don.
Thank you, Don. Yeah. Okay. We're not going to chant. We won't chant because Don doesn't like it. So we're not going to do it.
Let's be nice to Don. Yeah.
I mean, there's people cosplaying as Don out of loyalty and devotion, and he doesn't like that either. So, you know, Don's a complicated man. It's not like you know what's going to make him happy all the time. You know what I mean?
How can you?
That's why the people in his family are so special, is because they know how to please Don. You know, and they know how to make him happy. You know, I was going to say, I bet Don still has something left in the tank if he wanted to get back in the ring, too.
I think he should.
Like, honestly, AEW's lucky he doesn't. He'd probably be the fucking champ himself.
I think he would be. Yeah, I think he'd hold all the titles.
By the way, can you flex for me real quick? Because I haven't seen your muscles. Oh, my God. Jesus Christ, dude. You're getting huge. Fucking huge.
I'm taking good care of myself.
Jesus. You're not on the gas? You're not on a little bit of gas?
No, of course not. What kind of a question is that?
I mean, I don't know.
Don't ask me that again.
I've never seen somebody get so gassed up without gas. Like, that's...
Cállate, cabrón. Did you notice that Josh Alexander actually won a match?
You know, I did. And I was extremely happy that he actually pinned somebody. Yeah. They are starting to move Speedball into that guy who can take a pin position. They booked him really strong for a while. But we all kind of knew he'd have to go through this little phase. And him and Kevin Knight are both doing that. I would love to see... I got to be honest. I want to see Bandido versus Jet Speed just one time.
Me too.
My God. Yeah. Even if they drop the titles to them, that would be so cool. But I was so happy for Josh Alexander to actually get a pin. This guy is a former TNA world champion multiple times over. He's beaten people like Kenny Omega, he beat Christian for the TNA title.
Yeah.
I want to see him start to move up the card a little bit. I know they're kind of working on his character stuff right now, and they're waiting until that's more established. I think he does need work in that direction, and he probably knows that too. He was dressed like somebody in the Mafia a few weeks ago. I know he's experimenting, so very happy in the meantime to see him get a kind of a fluky pin over Speedball. But really, this was just a great match. Loved it. I actually thought they wrestled better because Don was on commentary.
Absolutely.
Is that too much?
Yeah.
Is that too far?
I don't think it's too far. I think you're right there.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm stupid.
You're right there.
Yeah, exactly.
You're not. No, I mean, okay, it was a little bit stupid, but it's okay.
Thanks. Thanks. No, I
am really I am really happy that Josh Alexander won a match, though. I completely agree with you. Thank goodness. It's about time, you know?
Maybe not the greatest thing that we're happy that he won an 8-man tag match and pinned somebody in an 8-man tag, but that's actually where he's been.
It's still something. It's still something, Eyeblade.
It is. Tony has a habit of you join the company and then you lose like a motherfucker for a while.
It's so true.
You come in the main event, you are going to lose like a motherfucker for a while. Not everybody gets the same thing, you know? But, you know, Josh isn't a rookie either. He's, I don't think he's going to be the world champion someday. But I would love to see him as, a possible TNT champion at some point down the road. Something like that. I think he deserves that. And I think he is good enough to earn that position. So we'll see. But it was good to see him get a pin.
Yeah. Hi, Blade. We had our smart babyface world champion, Hangman Adam Page, come out.
Yeah.
And he cut a promo, a really good promo. Hangman's great at promos. And Uncle Don decided to interrupt him at one point with half of his members.
So, yeah, it was only like 10.
Only 10 or something along those lines. So, very happy to see Don again. AEW is just getting this right,
This like a 10 out of 10 show.
Yeah, because of Don.
Yeah.
So he comes out and he's saying that the Don Callis family, they've been winning titles, and he wants the world title, and that Hangman stole the title from him the first time he beat Kenny because the belt was held by Kenny the Weak Link. And poor Hangman gets attacked by everyone. And now my favorite part of the whole show.
Oh, yeah.
Was Kenny's music hits. He runs out to save Hangman Adam Page. And this just brought me back to 2021. Hangman and Kenny, they hit the buck trigger on Lance Archer. We haven't seen them do that in years.
So awesome.
So awesome. Hangman wants to he goes to shake his hand. It ends up turning into a hug. So it was just like, oh my God, Kenny and Hangman 2021 again, really, really special moment. And I feel that considering Ospreay is going to be out for a really long time, Swerve is going to be out for a bit, I would say like maybe 3 to 4 months. So not as long, but these are still like 2 big losses, right? They needed to figure something out, right? It was like, we really need like top baby faces to fill in those roles. And of course, Hangman Kenny, that's perfect. I love it.
I mean, come on. You got Hanger as your world champion. I don't think we're going to see Kenny be your world champion again anytime, maybe ever. And he doesn't need to be. Like, he's still one of the greatest AEW world champions they've ever had. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And Hanger with backup from Kenny and maybe like Ibushi.
Oh, yeah.
And feuding with the Don Callis family. Now your world champion's feuding with them. We're talking about making them the big bad, right? Well, here we go, right? So they're moving MJF temporarily away from Hangman. I still think he might be the guy to take the title down the road at some point. We'll see. But I think setting him up with Kenny and Ibushi, so as they may probably move into a Golden Lovers feud with the Bucks, how can you lose? The Bucks have a loose affiliation with the Don Callis family as well. So, Kenny hates these fuckers. So, I think if anything, this is probably going to end up resulting in one more Omega Okada match down the road. And they're going to keep Kenny tied to Don. I think that's, until Kenny finally gets his ultimate revenge. And maybe down the road Takeshita and Swerve joining up with these guys to assist. It all kind of makes sense, doesn't it? So,
yeah,
those are all possibilities, fantasy booking shit. Who knows if any of it'll happen? One thing I did notice about Kenneth Jerome Bonaparte Omega is he runs out to make the save. He has no eyebrows.
I didn't notice that.
Yeah, if you go back and watch, Kenny doesn't have any eyebrows. He also has no facial hair.
Okay, that's fine.
Also no shirt. Sure you approved? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And they hugged. Yay. No kiss. Boo.
Boo.
Boo. You guys could have kissed. It would have been totally fine with all of us. They are both so outrageously attractive that even I'm attracted to them.
Honestly, they really are. I was thinking the exact same thing. My goodness.
Yeah. Yeah. So, the show, there was more that happened on the show, but we want to get, to kind of the gristle, the good stuff, the meat of the show. And I I don't think there's much we can say about it other than Darby's clearly going to run through the Death Riders one by one.
Woohoo.
And his first opponent was Claudio in a Falls Count Anywhere match, which you knew was going to be absolutely apeshit. And it was.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they had just huge spots, huge bumps. Claudio fucking throwing Darby around like a sack of shit often. And Darby managing to triumph in the end, scaring the shit out of Jon Moxley. Jon Moxley is clearly spooked by Darby. Very satisfying conclusion. Darby just beats Claudio. And, you know, this kind of protects Claudio because he's not in a straight up one-on-one match with a guy much smaller than him. It's like anything goes, and Darby manages to find a way. Claudio at one point fucking does the Bam Bam Bigelow to Spike Dudley thing where he throws him from the ring onto the announce table. Holy fucking shit. Darby, you absolute freak.
He's a maniac.
Yeah. Yeah. I insane.
I love that match. It's just one of those things where, although, you know, Claudio dominated the match and it looked like Darby was down, this guy is so resilient. He just keeps getting up. Mm-hmm. He does something crazy. It's hard not to root for Darby Allin. It's really hard. The guy is just so freaking awesome in every possible way. He's a maniac. He's sick in the head.
Yeah.
Like you mentioned earlier, that vignette was so freaking good. Blood everywhere. He doesn't care if he dies. And the thing is that it just seems so genuine when it comes to him. So yes, I agree with you. Awesome main event. Felt very ECW style. So very appropriate.
Yep. And it was overall a very strong Dynamite. I thought it was a really fun show. I love the ECW arena. We're still there. And we still have more to even discuss about the ECW arena coming up. But next, Joshi, we got a little bit of a bone to pick with some of what's going on. So let's all come down into a lovely place so that we can go to a darker one. But we will be back.
Okay, so iBlade. Okay, you know what? Let me start by saying that I do appreciate that we've been seeing more women on television.
100%.
I do. I like that there's been more tag matches, fatal four ways, multi-tag matches. I appreciate all of that. What is kind of bothering me is the lack of creativity and the predictability. So you mentioned it earlier. Let's start with Willow and Chris Statlander. Mm-hmm. At this point, these two have to do something else. I mean, they've been stuck in the same freaking story for I don't know how long now, and it's getting really old and boring. We know that they have a lot more to offer, so it's just, I don't know. You feel like, okay, they're going to reunite. Then Willow accidentally screws Statlander over, or Statlander does that to Willow, and there's tension again. And I'm just there thinking, either put them together or have them go their separate ways and we don't see them together anymore. Because they are stuck in limbo right now. They truly are. And I'm disappointed, you know? It felt like this freaking story was going to end months ago. And we're still talking about it now. It's almost September. And, you know, I just thought at this point they'd be doing something completely different. And they're not. It's just kind of, I don't know. It's just lazy to me, you know?
Yeah. And I think for anybody who's listening, hearing this right now, thinking, you know, leaving a comment, and you're welcome to if you want to, but I already know what some of you are going to do. Well, it's because of this and this business reason or whatever. That's not what we're talking about. We can be as understanding about limitations and whatever that are constraints that are put on Tony from whatever direction. That doesn't mean that this is good. Okay? Yeah. So Chris Statlander turned on Willow at Double or Nothing 2024. Mm-hmm. Okay? And they had that awesome no DQ match at All Out last year. And then Stokely fucking vanished. Mm-hmm. And Statlander kind of got shoehorned in with Mercedes without a real feud, just matches. Statlander has been on ice for a year. Willow has basically been on ice for a year too. These are two of your top babyface women, and they are tied to each other. And every booker has weak spots. And I think Tony Khan's weak spot is not pivoting enough sometimes when he needs to. Like, if you're not ready, because I don't think these two are splitting up. I think they're going to be more entangled because he has something big in mind for it. It's the only thing I can think of to justify this. And that's great. I want big things for both of these women. But if you weren't ready to pull the trigger on literally anything for months, why did you start building this back up like back in May?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So a lot of people really like both these women, but it feels like they've been running in place, which is almost worse than not having them on the show. And so there's been a lot of predictability in that storyline, but there's been a lot of predictability elsewhere too.
I feel ever since, I'd say maybe June. Yeah, I'd say after Double or Nothing. We've been getting the same kind of matches week after week after week, featuring the Triangle of Madness, Mello and Anna Jay, Megan Bain and Penelope Ford, etc. And I keep wondering to myself, okay, so what is this leading to? We thought for a while that we were getting women's tag titles. Mm-hmm. That's been put on hold. Okay, well, it's like, but like as fans, when we watch the shows and you constantly give us tag matches and you're teasing that there'll, be some kind of tournament, how do you expect us to take that? Of course, we're going to get eager and we're thinking, okay, they're coming soon. Hasn't happened. We've been talking about a blood and guts match, right? We've been thinking, okay, that's the match we're going to get. They even kind of teased it. Still nothing. I just feel like we're getting these matches, but what are they really fighting for? Because the other problem, too, is that you've got Toni Storm with the AEW Women's World title. Mm-hmm. And she's pretty much ran through that entire roster. Mm-hmm. Her matches have become so freaking predictable. I have a lot of respect for Toni Storm. She's the best character in wrestling, period. Mm-hmm. But man, ever since her feud with Mariah, I don't know what happened. I thought that they'd give her, a threatening opponent, like somebody that you could actually see beat her. And with Mercedes, there was that possibility, but a lot of us thought it wasn't going to happen because Mercedes is already the TBS champion, right? Mm-hmm. So how are they going to work out the logistics?
Right.
So they haven't convinced me that anybody can beat Toni. So now, whenever they announce an opponent for her, unfortunately, there isn't a long-term feud where they're convincing me, like, okay, you know what? This person lost to her the first time, but maybe she'll beat her next time. Because we hardly get any rematches. Mercedes is in the exact same position. Mm-hmm. So you've got two AEW champions that are pretty much being booked the same way. And it's starting to hurt the women's division. It really is. Because the thing is that these other women that are constantly in tag matches and all of that, we're thinking, okay, these are the women that are going to be in the tag team tournament. So they're not going to wrestle Toni and Mercedes anytime soon. And even if they did, Mercedes and Tony pretty much beat all these women at this point.
Right.
Yeah, there are some exceptions. I really feel this isn't going anywhere. It's becoming very stagnant. And then you have Athena. She's still the ROH Women's Champion. It's been 1,000 days.
Mm-hmm.
When's the last time that you've been convinced that someone was going to beat Athena, honestly?
The last
it's been
time
a
she
long
wrestled
time.
Billy Starks, probably.
Yeah, and it didn't happen.
Right.
Her title reign means nothing at this point. I hate to say it, but it's true. You know, there isn't really someone that she has long-term storytelling with in ROH. And a lot of times she just wrestles women that aren't signed to the company. So that's 3 women's belts that are stuck in the exact same position.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of like, okay, you've got the situation where you've decided that all 3 women are going to be champions for a really freaking long time. You've got the tag team titles that haven't been presented yet. You decided whatever you were going to do needs to be put on hold because of so many injuries. I don't know what Tony's talking about, to be fair. You've got partners, right? You've got CMLL. You've got Stardom. You can bring women from those companies and easily have a tag team tournament.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just kind of the women's division is stuck in limbo. And I think that's really unfortunate because, for example, if you look at the Triangle of Madness, these 3 women are really interesting.
Yeah.
I will say that Don Callis family, they are the best faction in AEW right now. But Triangle of Madness, they're a close second. And these women, you give them promo time, you give them backstage segments, you have them do weird, spooky things to, you know, their enemies. You know, like even Megan Bayne, man, like she is this huge woman. They brought her in and everyone was like, wow, this woman is amazing. Have her destroy people, have something big happen. There's just something missing. And it's just such a shame because it's not like they're lacking the woman or anything like that. All these women are interesting. They can all go. So my question is, what's the problem?
Well, and I think that's where we arrive, you know, because we're trying to be constructive. You know, it's like there aren't enough titles in the women's division and there isn't enough TV time for the women. I think that's ultimately always going to be the struggle. Like, I think it's good that they finally started the Pure tournament for the women. That's great, but it's in ROH. Like, maybe 15% of the AEW audience watches ROH every single week. You know I don't. I watch it if I have time. And even if I do watch it, I'm kind of like half paying attention because even Bandido isn't on the show that much. You know, Athena isn't on the show that much anymore. And thank God for that. But like, ROH just doesn't feel like a high priority show. They just had a great fucking pay-per-view the other night. Their pay-per-views are always great. It's the weekly stuff that doesn't land with me very often. I'll be watching the women's Pure tournament because that's interesting to me. But I think, yes, you have the curse kind of having your top 3 women all being your champions. And that's creating a backlog for everybody else. There's no secondary titles. So there's nobody who can, if you're not going to have any of these women lose, and all their pushes are kind of the same. You know, Tony might get pinned in a tag match to create a challenger. Mercedes has lost exactly 1 time, and it was to Tony. And Athena seems to lose to Mercedes and Tony and nobody else. So that's the issue. That's the problem. And until that changes, I have a feeling Stat or Willow is being positioned to take the world title off Tony. And I have a feeling maybe Willow would be positioned to be the one to take the title from Mercedes. Because they have a longer story to draw from. I do want to point something out. Athena has one story. It's with Billy Starks. Tony has had two stories. It's with Mariah May and Mercedes. Mercedes has had two stories. It's with Willow when she first got there and Tony. Everyone else is just a challenger that's told over a very short period of time, no rematch, no ongoing rivalry. And so what I think we're noticing, and when we say this, is not to shit on Tony Khan, it's just to recognize a weakness in an otherwise very strong product, is the women are kind of being booked the same. And yeah, we can be understanding that they're trying to build up the division, but come on. Like, that doesn't mean we can't critique what we're seeing and being given. I don't need to hear a bunch of excuses about why I need to understand because of the business. No, I'm a fucking fan. I'm just saying, this is not entertaining me the way it was 3 months ago. Now, we did say on this podcast, this exact podcast, we said we'd love to see more tag matches. We'd love to see more multi-women matches, and they went there. That's great. But not the same multi-women matches week after week after week after week after week.
Yeah.
While the same women are on top forever and ever and ever and ever. Okay? So there is a lack of creativity in the women's booking. I'm sure there's a plan for Willow and Stat. You guys got to get better at the pacing of this stuff. Even the blood and guts thing. If that's happening, like they've been dragging this out for a long time now. We've seen tons of matches involving Tekla, Aminata, some version of Ty J, some version of, Julia Hart, Sky Blue, whatever, Megan Bay and Penelope Ford. Like, it's great that you want to get them on TV. Find better ways to get them on TV. You don't have to do the same 4-on-4, 3-on-3 lineups over and over and over again each week on Dynamite, okay? I appreciate the intention, but we need more creativity in the booking until you get to this big stuff with Stat and Willow, because it feels like everything's just running in place right now. I could point out a few examples. We talked about it a little bit earlier of that happening in the men's side, but I really want to leave the focus on the women's side because, AEW in 2025 otherwise is the strongest I've ever seen it. It's the best it's ever been. This is where they could improve, and I'm not going to write that off because they've been so good otherwise. Like, otherwise we're just gassing AEW up all the time. Like, it's perfect, it's great, what a boring podcast that would be. You know what I mean? Like, we got to talk about the weak points too. So, no, I don't need to understand business-wise why they needed to do this. No, I don't. I'm just talking as a fan. It's not terrible, but it's too predictable. That's it. I'm going to play some music. We're going to come down to earth. This has been a loving critique of a product we love. When we come back, we have some high praise for that same product. All right, Joshi, last bit of business for this episode. Been a supersized episode, but god damn it, it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, a lot to talk about.
And there was a lot to catch up on. All this Dawn business. I mean, Jesus Christ, I had no idea. I'm sorry that I cost you so much. You've been kicked out of the inheritance. Fortunately, this man is built like a stallion, and he's not going anywhere anytime soon. We have plenty of time to get you back in his good graces.
Thanks, iBleed.
Yeah, and believe me, we will. Put her back in the well. Okay, last night, we did this episode a day late because we wanted to cover Death Before Dishonor because, god damn it, ROH as a weekly product is just kind of whatever. But, I mean, lots of good lucha stuff. I will say that for it. It's a lot of fun. I just wish they felt like they had an identity of some kind. I don't even know what that identity is, but I just wish they had one. However, when you watch these pay-per-views, good God. So we're back in Philly doing Death Before Dishonor in a ceremonial hometown of Ring of Honor, really. And what a fantastic fucking show this turned out to be with some very, if I had a critique of the ROH pay-per-views, usually it's that there's no story in them. They're just great matches, and a 4-hour pay-per-view of just great matches isn't always enough. But this was so much more than that, Joshi. Lots and lots of highlights. There was no bad matches. We're only going to talk about the standouts because that's what we're doing. You and I will freely admit, were complaining earlier in the day that this card looked a little lackluster, and it did.
Yes.
On paper, it did, okay?
It did.
Tony Khan announced that the Ring of Honor 6-man and tag titles were being held up, and that Sammy Guevara would be wrestling in place of Dustin Rhodes with the Von Erichs to try and reclaim the 6-man titles, which to me, on paper, looked boring as fuck. Sammy the babyface is just not interesting to me. And then Sammy would be wrestling with a mystery tag partner for the tag titles. And that didn't seem interesting to me either. And furthermore, he'd be wrestling the Outrunners, who, God, I was like, man, it's got to be the Outrunners. You got to pull the trigger on the Outrunners, especially unless this is somehow a way for Sammy to turn heel, which I think we all saw could be a possibility, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, look, as a bona fide Sammy Guevara babyface hater, and I have hated openly on this show, Sammy Guevara might just be one of the shittiest babyfaces in the history of this great sport, the sport of kings. Okay?
You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
He might just be top 10 worst of all time. Okay? This is a hateable motherfucker. Okay? But justice was done. Justice was done on this night, Joshi. Now, first, we had this 6-man business to deal with.
Yes.
The Von Erichs, who I could care less about, to be honest. I know they come from a historic lineage. Okay, that's great. That's great. I don't care about these two. Okay?
No.
They can come from any lineage they want. Be good on TV, then I'll care. Okay? But they actually gave them something to be upset about. So, they tease a little bit of dissension in this match versus Shane Taylor Productions, which is the Infantry and Shane Taylor himself. And it's a good match. It's a solid match. But Sammy's being kind of a dick to the Von Erichs. He's taking himself in. He's being a little pushy, a little bossy. And he ends up costing him big time. Shane Taylor Productions and the Infantry actually win a fucking match for a title.
Finally.
By pinning Sammy goddamn Guevara. And it's Sammy's fault because he was a selfish dick.
Mm-hmm.
And he's playing into the heelishness of this crowd who correctly fucking hate his ass. Because Sammy the babyface is a little bitch that nobody likes. And I'm starting to feel a little confident that something's brewing here because of this match. I've never been more excited to see somebody win these 6-man titles than I was to see Shane Taylor Promotions win some belts, okay? I love Shane Taylor Promotions. They rule. I love the Infantry. They rule. I love Shane Taylor. He rules. Lee Moriarty's already the pure champion. Make Shane Taylor Promotions the dominant faction in Ring of Honor. Please. Please do it.
Completely agree. I'm so happy that they won. And it was just really funny to hear the crowd boo Dallas so much because of football, right? So
yes.
They hated the Von Erichs. They hated, Sammy. But I agree with you. When it comes to the Von Erichs, I don't really feel much for them at the moment. Maybe I'll feel differently one day.
Yeah.
But yeah, those guys just really needed to lose the 6-man belts. Thank goodness.
And, they're barely used. They won those titles with Dustin last year, I think maybe at the same event. And those titles have barely been defended. To me, trios and 6-man titles aren't that prestigious. Like, I'm more of the mind that you just have them change hands a bunch and have title changes happening somewhere. I think sometimes Tony gets a little too precious with titles. And you can't make all of them feel as prestigious as a world title. In fact, I think that's a big mistake because they don't change hands often enough then. So it was great to see that happen. Shane Taylor Promotions, your new 6-man champions. I thought the result was actually better than the match.
Me too.
Joshi, we've run into a bit of a problem. I don't remember how to pronounce his name.
Shalwa.
Thank you. Okay.
You're welcome.
So, next match. that I thought was match of the show to this moment. Lee Moriarty and Showa had a fucking fantastic pure match. Holy shit. This was so fucking good. Showa made me a big fan in one night. You literally messaged me and said, who the fuck is this guy?
Yeah, I never heard of him before.
I had no answer. I was like, he's the guy wrestling Moriarty. I know he's in CMLL. That's it. He's 22 years old. He looks so much like Mil Mascaras. His mask is clearly influenced by Mil. And he's built kind of like Mil, just top heavy and very muscular. What insane technical wrestling we saw. Like, he was out wrestling Moriarty. That was the story. And Moriarty had to resort to cheating and brutality, really, to keep his title. But goddamn, these two put on one hell of a match. Joshi, you loved this. I know you did.
Oh, it was my favorite match at that point. I just thought Showa, who I've never heard of before, was fantastic. And like you said, 22 years old. He's so young.
Yeah.
I didn't know where he was from or anything like that until you told me he was from CMLL. So he must be a recent addition because I haven't seen him in CMLL before.
Yeah.
But wow, I mean, he reminds me of Hechicero in some ways. Very technically gifted, but also a really good high flyer. I want to see more of this guy. He made me a huge fan. And Lee Moriarty, of course, he looked great, but wow, I did not know what to expect from this, and it really exceeded my expectations. And like, more Showa, please. If you could have him as a regular on ROH, I would definitely tune in.
Fuck yeah. I want to see more. I want to see more Showa. Also, his dad, it was a luchador named SWAT, which I think is hilarious. Hey, guys, this is my dad, SWAT.
That's funny.
I just was making all kinds of really lame wisecracks last night, dad jokes about his dad's name being SWAT, as in an acronym SWAT, too, by the way. So, that was a great introduction to Showa. They couldn't have booked him any stronger. Moriarty made him look like a bazillion bucks, not like he needed any help. Some of these fucking submissions, they got each other tied up and were insane. And our friend Tino, who is, a connoisseur of Lucha Libre, pointed out he's so glad to see guys like Hechicero and Showa showing how much more there is to Lucha Libre than what people typically associate with it, which is high-flying, kind of flippy-dippy, whatever. That is a part of Lucha Libre. But Lucha Libre is so much more vast than that. And Tony Khan is the only guy to really bring that to the United States. And props to him for that.
You know, what's really interesting? While I was watching the pay-per-view, the show, the special event, I was telling Joshi G this. I was just like, what's really cool is that, especially in North America, like Tino said, we have this perception of Lucha Libre where, it's all high flying. And to be honest, that's what we've been exposed to, right? I mean, these high flyers that we see in the United States from Mexico, it's like the high flying stuff, which I love, don't get me wrong. But man, like I admit, like, I didn't even know that there was so much more to Lucha Libre. And I apologize for that because I really wish I did know. I remember watching Hechicero. I thought, what? Whoa. Okay. I've never seen a luchador wrestle this style. You look at Bandido, there's so much more to him than just high flying. Beast Mortos is another one. And then with Showa as well, just seeing these guys do all these different kind of styles, it really showed me that I did not know enough about Lucha Libre. And I'm just really happy to be exposed to it more and to have more knowledge about it because, wow, now I'm realizing that was a blind spot for me, for sure.
Hechicero literally blew my mind the first time I ever saw him. And it was in AEW. And I have to like Yave, that whole style of submission wrestling. I had no understanding of it whatsoever. And you saw that in this match. You saw that in so many different aspects of the show last night. And I have to say, I was a New Japan fan way before they were working with AEW. Okay. Like, I think AEW exists because of New Japan. So AEW's patterned a little bit after New Japan. And the switch from the alliance with AAA to an alliance with CMLL has exposed me to so much more lucha. I have watched more lucha this year than probably all of the years combined up to now because of this partnership and being exposed to Persephone and Hechicero and, I can't remember her name. She wrestled in Ring of Honor.
La Catalina?
Well, there's a lot of Catalina for sure. But there was this other lady older than La Catalina. She wrestled
Zuxis?
No, Zuxis I know because we couldn't pronounce her name last year. There was one other. Anyway, it doesn't matter.
Oh, I think I know who you're talking about.
She wrestled.
I can't remember her name.
I think she wrestled Athena, or she wrestled Red Velvet, maybe on TV. It was on ROH TV. Anyway, I can't remember right now, but that's okay. I've been exposed to so many luchadoras and so many great luchadors, and it's really blown my mind and opened my mind to wrestling I had no idea about. And Tony Khan, man, you have hit a home run with these partnerships. Look at WWE running around in circles trying to catch up right now, So it's and they're nowhere close to what's going on in AEW. I mean, so Tony has really reestablished wrestling as a global language, and he's making all of us more fluent in it. And huge thanks for that. Huge thanks for that. Next match. This could have gone a million different ways, Joshi, but it ended up being a fucking banger. We got QT Marshall versus Paul Walter Hauser, Golden Globe and Emmy winner, Paul Walter Hauser, Oscar nominee, Paul Walter Hauser, in a fight without honor. Now, I have known that Paul Walter Hauser has been wrestling on the indies. I have heard about it. I've never seen him wrestle. How did this match end up being this great?
I have no idea. I didn't know he had it in him. He was so impressive.
Massive credit to QT Marshall, who has been the world's easiest shitbag to dunk on forever. He owns it. He wears it with pride. He usually takes a loss in these types of situations. These guys wrestled with glass. These guys Paul Walter Hauser fucking bladed. This is a guy who is like in 4 movies this year, okay?
Yeah.
Can't just be scarring up his face. And he fucking, like, this guy, unfucking believable shit, okay? He was in Superman. He was in Naked Gun, okay? Big roles in these movies. Unbelievable dedication to pro wrestling. He considers himself a wrestler, okay? Not a wrestler first. God, who would? Who's getting the opportunities he's getting. But when he can, all he does is try to create angles. He creates angles on red carpets. He's been doing this angle with QT for months, building to this match. He wanted to make this a big deal. And because Tony Khan was willing to give him the platform, he did it for AEW and ROH. Okay? So he was fantastic on commentary on Collision about a month ago. And this is a guy who's doing media tours for Naked Gun and Superman at the same time and still stops in to do fucking commentary for a Collision. And he was
true
great
wrestling
at it.
fan. Yeah.
This guy's the real deal. QT gets the win. It would have been so easy to put over Paul Walter Hauser, and he did exactly what he should have done. Did the job. To a diamond cutter through a table with glass all over it. Unfucking believable. Super fun match. Not the match of the night even, but super fun. What were your thoughts?
It was a lot of fun. Yeah, I enjoyed it. Paul Walter Hauser, he's just such a huge wrestling fan, and you can tell. I mean, to wrestle in ROH and be so prepared for the match, like it wasn't just like, I don't know, like Snoop Dogg showing up and doing a sloppy choke slam or whatever. You know what I mean?
The worst. What did he do? He did a flying body splash.
Yeah,
off the
awful.
top, landed toes first and like knees, like toes, knees, and then kind of just rolled on top of whoever he was doing it to.
like Paul actually prepared for this. He took this very seriously, and I just really appreciate that
too.
Yeah,
that was a choice.
I just really appreciate the fact that he took this match seriously. It wasn't just like, oh, whatever, I'll be in a match in ROH and I'm just gonna do whatever. Like he was like, no, like I really want to work hard for this and I want to impress everybody, and he managed to do just that. So we got to give him huge props.
Yes. Earlier, before this match, Sammy Guevara had cut a promo, being kind of a dick, and said that he and his partner were going to break the walls down, which immediately got a lot of people thinking it was going to be Chris Jericho. And that this whole Tony Khan, I love Chris. Chris is the greatest. Sammy's smart, okay? He knows nobody wants that. He knows this is going to generate heat. He's telegraphing the heel turn big time. And the Outrunners come to the ring. They get their usual applause. Everybody loves the Outrunners. I'm still very much Outrunners have to win this.
Mm-hmm. Me too.
And Sammy comes out. And then he introduces his partner. It's fucking Roosh.
Who saw that coming, right?
Nobody. No one saw that coming. Okay. So many swerves make no logical sense. They can even be satisfying and make no sense. Pro wrestling, in many ways, just makes no sense, okay? But this was actually logical. It made perfect sense, okay? So Roosh comes out, and I'm spending the whole match perfectly content with either outcome. Now, reminded that I actually do like Sammy Guevara if he's used well. Because I was on a podcast, we did a show with you and your hubby where I shit all over Sammy, and Joshi G was horrified. He was horrified. Antoine, horrified, okay? I was reminded that I actually really like Sammy, and he progressively plays up the dickishness throughout the match, right?
He's a heel in this match, period.
He's going full heel.
Yeah.
But he's also very chummy with Roosh. And I'm like, either Roosh is either going to turn babyface and beat Sammy's ass at the end when they lose, and the Outrunners are going to have that big moment, or they're going to win. And I don't know what happens then. Well, they win. Roosh and Sammy win. And Drilistico runs out, who we knew from the pre-show was in the building.
Yeah.
Drilistico runs out, and at first he pushes Sammy like, what the fuck? And Sammy's like, what? There's no problem. And then they reveal that it was all a ruse. This was the plan all along. And Sammy is now a member of LFI. This is the most relevant LFI has ever felt. I feel like LFI is kind of like the Callis family, where they've just been they've had a million different configurations forever, and it's never felt like it mattered because it's so scattershot. Think Preston Vance was in LFI at one point.
Yeah,
now he's
in
the fucking
Clubhouse
or whatever the fuck they call that terrible faction.
Yeah.
So there's been so many different members of this group, okay? Roosh was in the Callis family for a minute. And they've never had a consistent lineup. They've never been consistently pushed. Run with this. Run with Sammy, the Cuban guy who's in LFI, okay? This made so much sense. The Von Erichs run out, and they're like, Sammy, what's going on? And Sammy's like, hey, guys, don't worry about it. These guys are cool. You don't have to worry about it. And then he just kind of walks behind their back as they're confronting Roosh and Drilistico. And then Sammy goes, hey, guys. And they turn around and Sammy super kicks. Sammy goes hard heel. Love it. Love it. Love it. They beat up the Outrunners more after the match. Run with this, because I think there's another dimension to all of this. I think our buddy Beast Mordos might be the odd man out here. He might be the first guy to feud with these guys. Please.
Definitely a possibility. And, the fans love Beast Mortos. A face turn would definitely do him a lot of good. I have to say, I did not see Roosh being Sammy Guevara's champion. That was very unpredictable. And yeah, during the match, they're acting chummy and all of that. But, of course, you're questioning, right? Like, oh, is Roosh really going to stick around and help Sammy? Is he just going to ditch him at one point? Or they're going to get along? And so, man, it's just funny how our opinions changed at that point where we were saying, okay, Sammy and Roosh could win this match. I don't have a problem with that all of a sudden.
Right.
Yeah, it just changed so quickly. And I just think that this is awesome for Sammy Guevara because I agree with you. Sammy as a babyface just does not work. He is an amazing heel, always has been. And I want to see him be as annoying and arrogant as possible. He is really good at that. He has a punchable face.
Yep.
That's just Sammy, right?
He's a dick.
He's just a dick. But man, it also does wonders for LFI because, yeah, it's kind of been hot and cold with them. They really needed something big to happen. And putting Sammy with them, that is just the perfect pairing. Sammy is obviously very fluent in English. So he's going to help in terms of
right.
Yeah,
I hadn't even thought of that.
Yeah, promo segments. This was, I don't know who came up with this idea, but great job. None of us saw this coming, and this is going to work really well for everybody involved. And like you said, Blade, if this will lead to a Beast Mortos face turn, hey, I'm all for it, man. I love the Beast, and I want to see him be used in like a huge freaking capacity because he is freaking awesome. So, yeah, that was really something, a highlight of the night because like you, I thought, oh man, like this tag match and like, this trios, tag match, like whatever. I wasn't
Double
feeling
Sammy.
it, but double Sammy, but boy, did they like change our input on the tag match very quickly last night. So props to them, man. That was a great call.
Mind-blowing shit. This is like Booker of the Year shit. This is like the magic of pro wrestling is you can go from I'm giving up on Sammy Guevara, which is exactly where I've been. I'm giving up on this fucker. Fuck him. ROH is boring. I don't care about ROH. That's where I've been. Okay.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Me too.
ROH just became way more interesting. And Sammy just became very interesting and is right where he belongs. And I'm excited to see where he goes. That's the magic of pro wrestling because everything can change with one good decision. One good decision can change everything. And that literally happened in real time to me last night.
Man.
You know what else was a good decision, though, Joshi?
Bandido versus Hechicero? Oh, yes, of course.
Don Callis, trying to help you out here. He comes down to the ring because it's about to be Bandido versus Hechicero, and he wants to introduce his boy. Don, whether we worship the ground he walks on or not, and we do, was at his very best in this moment. I could go on and on and on, but I will say him going, Hechicero, while running the ropes was fucking hilarious. He tried to speak more Spanish than he has. He had something muy importante to say. He criticized Riccaboni for not speaking Spanish. He made sure there was a ref who spoke Spanish as well as he does to ensure that this match would be fairly reffed because he's
so generous.
He's generous. Yeah. He's giving. He's handsome. He's everything. Joshi Bandido. Hechicero is an amazing wrestler. I don't want to detract in any way from Hechicero. These two had one of the greatest matches of the year last night. 37 minutes long. Bandido has had 3 that I can count right now that I could call the match of the year. The match with Mascara Dorada.
Oh my God, yeah.
The match with Takeshita.
Banger.
And this match. Incredible. They've all happened over one summer. This man has conditioning that I think needs to be studied because we could probably save lives if we could replicate it. Okay. This guy's doing crazy feats of strength 30 minutes into a match that it reminds me, I was telling you before we started, it reminds me of Kenny Omega.
Yeah. Yeah.
And this was not a stereotypical lucha match. This was not even a stereotypical Bandido match. These guys did crazy Yave submission shit, and Bandido gave as good as he got.
Absolutely.
It showed how multidimensional this guy was. He got huge applause. I'm doing big jazz hands while we're talking. Nobody can see, and Joshi's mocking me for doing it, rightfully so. I am such a mark for this dude. I always have been. Everybody knows that. But I am planting my flag in the ground right now. I know. I keep talking with my hands. But Takeshita and Bandido, it's down to them for me. Who's Wrestler of the Year? I don't quite know. It may end in a tie for all I fucking know. But these are the two best wrestlers in the world right now. I will not move. Somebody could still take it. Somebody else, but they'd have to do a lot. This is the year of Takeshita and Bandido. Joshi, do you agree?
Oh my God, dude. Of course. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. These two have been killing it so far. And yeah, like Bandido, he has match of the year after match of the year after match of the year in such a short, period of time. And I don't know how the hell he does it. Watching this match, I just thought, holy crap, this is so intense. I haven't seen a match like this before. And, they just blew me away. It's honestly one of my favorite matches of the year. It really is. I loved it so much. It was perfect. Hechicero is excellent. He really is. Bandido is just that freaking guy, man. It's just, he can be the AEW world champion one day. Absolutely. He is on that level. He's charismatic. He's got it all.
If you're Tony Khan, you find a way to make it happen.
It has to happen.
I've gone from could be to has to be.
Yep.
Look at that crowd last night. Look how over he was before he even did anything. Bandido is the kind of guy that will win over any crowd. Even if you don't know who he is. He was doing that before he got injured. He was kind of scattershot on TV. He didn't really have a full direction. They did a little thing where he was like with Orange Cassidy for a brief time, and he was very entertaining. I like that. But he has to be AEW World Champion. I feel the exact same way about Takeshita. Find a way to make it happen. Have Kenny Omega be his mouthpiece. Why
not?
Have somebody be his mouthpiece. But other irony here. Is it a coincidence that for both Bandido versus Takeshita and Bandido versus Hechicero, Don Callis was on commentary?
He somehow makes the matches better. And he did say on commentary, I believe, that he trained with Hechicero. He learned some moves. So Don Callis, not only does he praise his family, he also learns how to wrestle like them. I mean, my goodness, can you ask for a better mentor? You just can't.
My favorite Don go-to line, and he says this no matter who's wrestling, is, we've been working on that in training. We've been training on that. It's the most unbelievable bullshit ever, and I love it so much. But he also added a lot of logic to the commentary. Look, Caprice and Ian, we kid, but they're fantastic, man.
Yeah. No, they're
douchebags compared to Don, but
obviously.
So am I. I mean, so are you. So is everybody,
yeah,
right? But
nobody's as good as Don.
No, Don's like a god amongst humans, mortals. But he talked about the ankle. Hechicero worked this match so logically with Bandido. He attacked the ankle. JR would call it destroying the vertical base. But that's what he's doing, right? He's taking out the ankle so this guy can't flip and fly all over the place, right? But the fact that Bandido could go hold for hold on the mat with Hechicero made this so interesting. And some of the core strength these guys exhibited when they were muscling out of each other's oh
my God, dude.
Romero stretches, when they muscled out of that, unfucking believable.
I've never seen that before. That freaked me out.
It freaked me out. I'm like, am I watching an alien be born right now?
I know.
What is happening?
What is with these two? Who are they? Where do they come from? Are they human? I don't think so.
No. And then like 25 minutes into the match, Bandido fucking pressed
I know.
Hechicero over his goddamn head fucking right before the end of the goddamn match. This is a 37-minute match.
How?
Bandido does the backflipping fucking slam off the top rope to fucking Hechicero, who's like way bigger than him.
Dude, Hechicero, we love you.
Dude, we love you, bro.
Bandido, we love you. We seriously need a group hug. Like,
dude,
I love these guys. I just do.
Best in the world.
Two of the best in the freaking world right now. And
Absolutely.
I knew they were going to give us an excellent match. I did. I mean, they're both up there as two of the best in the world. But my goodness, man, I did not expect some of the things that I saw in that match to happen. Because like you said, right? It's like Hechicero is bigger than Bandido. Hechicero is more of a technical guy than Bandido, but Bandido just had an answer to everything. And Hechicero had an answer to everything Bandido did too. Don't get me wrong. Yeah. It's just like these two matches made in wrestling heaven,
Unbelievable.
Unbelievable. Loved it. I don't even know. Like, if you were to ask me, Joshi G, did you prefer Bandido versus Takeshita or Bandido versus Hechicero? I'd say, don't ever ask me that question again. I can't choose, and I'm not going to. I love all three of these guys, and I
feel the same way.
They all blew me away, okay? I'm not choosing.
Well, and they're totally different matches. You know
and
what I mean?
They're totally different matches. Yeah.
Like, I think Bandido almost was kind of the underdog against Takeshita.
Yeah, you're right. It's true, yeah.
Like, Takeshita's been featured in a stronger way than Bandido. So, I think a lot of people thought it was entirely possible he could just run Bandido over, And,
yeah.
And Bandido won like a fucking hero. But Bandido is just, I love, Professor Degree said this on the review that we did. He loves good guys. And I love that Bandido is just that baby face everyone loves. I never want him to be a heel.
No.
He can't.
Why? Hell no. He's
like Ricky Steamboat with a little more charisma. You know what I mean? Like, he's just the perpetual good guy. And he's truly a freak. He's a freak of nature. Everything about this match was great. If it doesn't get 6 stars, 7 stars, whatever, Dave Meltzer's on crack.
We'll beat him up.
We'll beat him up.
Yeah.
And somehow, Joshi, there was another match after this.
Could you believe it? I was like, holy crap, I'm so tired right now. I don't know how I'm going to stay up.
I thought there has to be a title change. That's the only reason you would put these two poor people after that match. And I would have felt that way about a Will Ospreay, a Takeshita, anybody. Yeah. Having to follow this, I would have felt bad for anyone.
Me too.
Okay? The best wrestlers in the world would have a hard time.
Oh,
and by God, Mina Shirakawa and Athena did it. They did it. They had a completely different kind of match.
Completely different, yes.
And it ruled. It's the best Mina Shirakawa match I've ever seen.
Agreed, 100%.
Athena's chemistry with Joshi's is unbelievable.
Yeah.
I've never seen Athena, as in an ROH ring, look more vulnerable than she looked in this match. They fooled me. I literally believed Mina was going to win several times.
I don't even know where to start with this, because when they had announced this match, you know how I've been feeling lately? I'm like, it's predictable, whatever. Mm-hmm. And I was just like, so it was hard for me to get super excited, Mm-hmm. I just thought, Athena's going to win. Yeah, it'll probably be good, but But holy crap, Mina Shirakawa looked amazing in this match. This is the best she's ever been in the ring. And considering she just came back from an injury, I didn't expect her to be this freaking amazing. It's like, the thing about Mina, and I was telling Joshi J this yesterday, she's beautiful, she's charismatic, and man, she can wrestle. It's not just like, she's just this beautiful woman. Like, she can go in that ring. She is so damn good. And of course, we know how amazing Athena is. And I have to say, and you know what? If you want to get mad at me for saying this, people, get mad at me. I don't care. I thought Mina versus Athena blew the women's matches from Forbidden Door out of the fucking water.
It did.
That was the best match out of all three.
No,
and man,
I don't think it's even debatable. Yeah.
Like that to me was one of the best women's matches of the year.
Yep.
It's you put Athena in the ring with Joshi's, magic happens. She just has this, she understands how they wrestle and they understand her. And that's why when I go on about like Mercedes and Athena are on another level, I say this because you put these two women with any Joshi, it's an amazing match. They understand that kind of the way the Joshis wrestle. And when I say Joshi level, that's what I mean. It's like, Athena refers to herself as the American Joshi, and with good freaking reason.
Yep.
To me, there's really good North American wrestlers, and then there are North American wrestlers that are Joshi level. And for me, because I'm a tough cookie when it comes to this stuff, for somebody to be considered Joshi level, you have to wrestle like a Joshi. And that is not an easy thing for someone to do who isn't a Joshi, obviously. And Athena has that freaking ability. I was telling Joshi J, send her to freaking Stardom for a while, have her wrestle everybody there. Man, because she can do it. She can do it. The chemistry she has with these ladies is incredible. And you know what, Blade? I want to see Athena versus Shiri.
I was just about to say the same thing. You have to give us
that, because that will easily be a 5-star match. Give us that match as soon as you freaking can.
Have a series.
Those two would blow it out of the water.
They would.
Oh my God. This is what I mean. Like sometimes on the show, I'll be like, I want to see more Joshis in AEW. I want to see more Stardom featured. I want to see this because I know that you put these women against an Athena or a Mercedes or a Jamie, you are going to get a match that you are never going to forget. It's just, at this point, it's just, there's no doubt in my mind, because when you see Athena wrestle like a Mina, or just trying to think, or like, let's say Mio Yamashita, it's just, man, it's magic. It's freaking magic. I'm just going on at this point, but it's just love this kind of thing.
We're marking out. That's in the name of the fucking show, right? So, I mean, that's the thing. Is like Athena, in my opinion, I can't speak for the world because there's a lot of women in Japan that I haven't seen. There's women elsewhere that I haven't seen. For my money, Athena is the most fluid in-ring performer, female in-ring performer in this side of the world. Like she's, and that's no diss on anyone else. Athena's just like in her absolute prime right now. Like it shows me Mercedes could actually get better. You know what I mean? Like, not that she's not as good as Athena. That's not what I'm saying. Okay. Athena's maybe more naturally athletic than Mercedes or Tony or just about anybody. Okay. It's a huge compliment to her. Not a diss on anyone else. I love Mercedes. I love Tony. I love Jamie Hayter. I love so many of these people. Okay. Stat, Willow.
Oh, yeah.
Just run down that whole list, right? La Catalina, Persephone. But Athena's just killing me right now. Like, she's just unbelievable. Her match psychology, unbelievable. This match, what really stood out to me was that Athena's brutality worked against her.
It
because
did.
She wanted to go after the hand really bad, and she got her. She finally got her, right? She, like, rammed her elbow and her hand into the ring post. And Athena starts getting arrogant again. Her fatal flaw. And she goes to do this really brutal-looking kick against the railing that she's done to other people before. Well, not tonight. Mina moved. And Athena kicks this ring barrier so fucking hard. And Mina immediately goes and sits in a chair that's against another ring barrier. Athena goes to kick her there. Mina moves, misses. Athena's getting this leg worked over the entire rest of the match. Her knee is fucked. And that's the story of the match. And she barely grits out this win. My only qualm is how the fuck could she do the O phase if she was that compromised? But you know what? It really doesn't matter that much. She did it, and then it's over. Like, if she did it and Mina kicked out and she still won, I would have had a problem with that. But the fact that this finished the match, I can see Mina being a world champion now. Like, that's how good this match was. This got Mina over to a hardcore guy like me in a totally different way. This match, I'm going to say Bandido Hechicero is my favorite match of the night.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Because it's just like Okada Omega special to me. But this isn't far behind, man. This was super good. Okay? Like, when I tally up my women's match of the year, it's going to be close. Way closer than I thought. It's going to compete with Tony and Mercedes. It's going to compete with the Hollywood Ending, which these are all great matches for other reasons. This match was just as good. It's like that level. So I want to see Athena Shuri. I want Shuri to win the ROH title, to be honest with you. Me
too. I hope that happens.
They should have a series.
Yeah, I hope she shows up in ROH really soon.
And does a little tour there. Do a little tour there. And don't have Athena win it back from her. Like, have somebody new win it back from her, you know?
Yeah, you could have Shuri show up in ROH, Athena show up in Stardom. Like, why not? Just do something really cool along those lines, something different.
Yep.
Because, those two could have one of the best series of matches ever, easily. So another thing I wanted to mention, iBlade, I highly encourage everybody to watch Mercedes Moné versus Emerson Jane from Rev Pro, which took place the Friday of Forbidden Door weekend. It was a really excellent match. I didn't even know who Emerson Jane was, to be honest. She's actually really great. Amazing chemistry with Mercedes Moné. I really think that if you watch it, you'll love it. You could find it on YouTube. I could share the YouTube link on social media. But yes, please watch it. One of my favorite matches of the year as well.
Yeah, I need to watch it still. I haven't seen it yet, but I've heard nothing but great things about it, and very excited to see Emerson Jane, who's doing a better job of putting the spotlight on new indie wrestlers than Mercedes. Who?
Really, right?
Nobody.
What a fighting champion.
I know. And what a great representative of the business, period. Joshi, this is what happens when you're not on the show for a week or two. You know what I mean? Like,
I know.
We end up with so much to catch up on. But I got to say, it's so great having you back. I'm so sorry for what I cost you with Don. Uncle Don, and I call you that. I know you're not my uncle, but I feel like because you're Joshi's uncle, we're family, which you would deny to high heaven, and rightfully so. I'm not worthy. But what I want to say is this has been a fucking great episode. I've had a blast just gushing over Graps with you, Joshi.
Me too.
Tony Khan, you are a great booker who needs to figure out what's going on with the women's division, and I know you will. We have total faith in you, my friend. For all the marks out there that listen to us every single goddamn week, mwah! We love you. You're the best.
We love you.
We mark out over you. Thank you. Go listen to The Hard Way. Make sure you subscribe to us on your feed, whatever podcast feed you listen to. Make sure if you're listening to us on YouTube to thumbs up and hit that subscribe button, because it really does help us out a lot. But with all that said, I'm Blade Daly.
I'm Joshi G.
Pro Wrestling Forever.
Sickos Club.